nightlife, lost life without getting both beds in the safe. Wanna see my need. The whole city got pissed, hurt, he got treated. That other rapper got hit without he got out. That city on fire soon as he got free. The king back now. Raw don't even know how to act now. The close get naked for a stack down. Still ballin', money stacked out the shack now. He'll push the button and let the back down. I'm on the road doing shows through Mac down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to chat time. Proud yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the hot girls yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring 'em out, hey, fuck the black gay yelling, bring 'em out, hey. I got rich and still that I'm moving the clear. You rapping by blow, I was moving the brick. Talk about shooting out, I was doing it quick. If I hit you in the face, you gon' be suing me quick. Never catch another case, I know it's true to be missed. So I'ma keep a cool head, stay out of the news headlines, and show these other rappers bedtime. It's clear to see that I'm ahead of my time. I got the thrown down hard, talk real with the shine. I got the time, they ain't nothing like it better with time. We got a flow on a live show better than mine. I got a packed house yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the hot girls yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring 'em out, hey, the black day yelling, bring 'em out, hey, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. You wanna be for the team, what is you gon' do? We show up on the scene with 2 guns, drew on you and your friend, and play a little 2 on 2. If you happen what I do, you be hitting the deck. I got 2 in the best, I can get some respect. I'ma make it hard for another start to the flex. Show them it's like a squad or start to the test. Man, my too large and we way too fresh. Work well with they put the checker lane like a game of chess. You wanna be better, bring your best. Cause we be standing in your front yard yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the hot girls yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring 'em out, hey, the black day yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the front yard yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the hot girls yelling, bring 'em out, hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring 'em out, hey, the black day yelling, bring 'em out, hey, oh.
I go on and on, can't understand how it lasts so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000 hours. Get a calculator, do the math. I made 1,000 songs that made you move, yeah. And for the last 300 months, I made 16 albums with me on the front, and they bump. Where you get your beats, I heard 93 rappers say like me. 2 singers and 10 comedians, and I'm still gon' yell it every time you see me in. What's my favorite word? Why they gotta say it like short? You know they can't play on my court, can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the court. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Where you get that from? Where the money spit on? Let me hit that. MC, A, call it MJG. Keep spitting that beat to the IMB. Bun B, that's Texas, baby. Ballin' G, that's Memphis, baby. Short dog, that's Oakland, baby. Ain't nothing but pimpin' these days, My nigga C got locked up, but these girls still know they got to give a what you say. Short dog with UGK. Do you really wanna be like me? Spit gang like Snoop and T.I.P. Pretty girls in the VIP, they pay with trade. They don't need ID. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Blowing with wealthy ass jamming things, giving the double as I motherfucking claim the fame. Throwing your wetsuit when it rains and pours and all. Hitting with the fall, don't even know it from a hole in the wall. Get at me, just wanna clap me, just wanna rap me, put it right where they back me. Keep my guns close to me, enemies even closer. Sending kites with the Motorola's, yo. Give them the cold shoulder with a hollow tip to match. That apple out of the bat, success with gang. Since a little jewel eating Full buck 50s. You can kill me, but they coming with me. How about gas and the queen beating with Jack? Only get live like that to leave them relax. Rockin' them sleep, make them think the drama is dead. Yo, I smile up in your face, while I'm fighting instead.
Yo, it's real. To make you feel, jump them in the club. Have you riding out when they bump this club to your eardrum, the war uncut. Having OG, cause it's never enough. Yo, it's the real. To make you feel, jump them in the club. Have you riding out when they bump this club to your eardrum, the war uncut. Having OG, cause it's never enough. Hot damn hole, here we go again. Light as a rock, hard as a it's not for blocks, you hard tops in the parking lot. Where my rock like the fucking lot. My Brooklyn style speak for itself. Like a wrestler, another notch under my belt. The embezzler, chrome treasurer, the UNO competitor. I'm 10 steps ahead of you, I'm a leader, yeah, I'm some following. Coming in this game on some islands. It's up just to get to the top. I put 100% in every line I drop. It's the Q to the B, the M-O-B-B. Queensbridge, Brooklyn, and with D-double-E-P. Wow, I wish I lived a life I lived. Yo, Friday, tell them once it's done. Yo, it's the real. They make you feel, jump them in the club. Have you riding out when it bumps this club. To your eardrum, the war uncut. Having OD, cause it's never enough. Yo, it's the real. They make you feel, jump them in the club. Have you riding out when it bumps this club. To your eardrum, the war uncut. Having OD, cause it's never enough.
Okay. You know, a lot of California love on the west side. Thank God for the weed women in the sunshine. Don't I? I'm sunset. Blow a picture from the one time you get a content. Catch you at the red light. Wanna run down sideways to the Hellcat. On some red flag. By the way, I never seen a good view, not enough. Bunch of bad niggas in the swoop. Little Wayne crash, playing spades in the living room. Crack. Sound like a doggy style in the living room. Girl, got it in where the gas at. Moon rock got me acting like I never had you. From a bank kid to a Hollywood address. Ain't it real? 101, get your hair kid. Spend more than a fat bit. Air hood, air set down. Change one time for the wake out. I later back to Sacramento, I just had to act out.
Still getting that work from California. And all the killers, they show me love in California. Yeah. I grew up from the age of California. And I've been smoking on the best line in California. Yeah, California. Oh, California. I swear I got to get back to that place to smoke on that.
Palm trees in the air, the top push back. Blowing smoke out the roof, cookies to be exact. I'm always in Cali, cause this is where it's at. But good weather, what you know about that? Where all the flat rap business peoples, they either wanna be an actress or sing. I'm at the strip club on Sunset, throwing singles with the bad Compton or Lena. Breaking down backwoods, rolling gasoline. Left the last factory pulled up in Inglewood. I wish a crib and I with some blood, and I was an S-side. My stash house in the valley. Welcome to my palace. Just went and killed 2 shows out in Dallas. Selling OG from LA, Grace from the Bay.
Still getting that work from California. And all the killers, they show me love in California. Yeah. I grew up from the age of California. And I've been smoking on the best loud in California. Yeah, California. Oh, California. I swear I got to get back to that place to smoke on the California.
You know I gotta show the best love. I had to take a trip to Cali for the best love. I been chillin' with the goons, yeah, the real thugs. Went to Sacramento, living at the real club. I said I'm looking for the gas with the healing. Like strong, gotta go with the healing. I'm in a bad papa chillin' out of Frisco. Like to sip on my marinas in the Cisco. I hop my ass on the 101 and head north. And when I hit the hill, I found what I was looking for. Feeling like a leprechaun with a pot of gold. Bag for the gas, yeah, the car kinda slow. I fly back from the day with a heart of race. Put a in the rental, tell her run it back. Fly another in with 200 more. Welcome to California, stay to go.
Still getting that work from California. And all the killers, they show me love in California. Yeah. I grew up from the age of California. And I've been smoking on the best loud in California. Yeah, California. Oh, California.
it, baby. Stick it, baby.
I'm living on that plane. Ain't going back and forth with you. Ain't going back and forth with you.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Thank y'all for joining, staying with us. Second annual Toast to the Men celebration. Man, we just had on Rico Alexander and Roger Smith. They blessed us, man. I mean, they gave us a lot of wisdom and knowledge about health and wellness. I appreciate those brothers. Then our next two guests on the panel, we're going to talk about life after incarceration. Life after incarceration. After living with a felony. So life after incarceration, living with a felony, man, I got a guy I've known probably since junior high, GG. Some people call him Wine, some people call him GG. I got GG, and I don't know if my other guest on the panel, Warren Owens, is going to be able to join us, but love to have those two brothers on. I know Gigi has some technical difficulties. So, do you know if he'll join us, Chiquita, Warren?
I'm reaching out to him right now to see. I know
Okay.
he's way in Oklahoma right now, so I'm working on it.
Okay, I know. I know ahead of time he's gonna have to be in Oklahoma. So.
Yeah. I just wanted to just kind of touch a little bit. I know from our last session that we just left, I just wanted to throw this out there to everybody to just kind of think about, your body as being like that Energizer bunny, that our bodies are electric. And the whole thing about that is because we're electric, we have to have electrical foods, which all of those foods that Rico was pretty much talking about definitely ties into that, to keeping our cells energized. And when we eat those heavy foods like that with the meat and all of that, the reason why we get sleepy is because our body is taking the time to try to process and break all that stuff down. And it's using up all the little bit of energy that we do have, which is not much if we're not eating right.
Right.
So that's pretty much where all that falls into place. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, and it's about just being conscious of it, being aware and making a choice.
Mind.
Yeah, conscious choice of no, I'm not going to eat that, or I will eat this, and being disciplined. I mean, that's what all comes back to, is this discipline. So, and I know I need to work on that. I don't do too much bad food, but I love my cigars and I love my liquor. So, but I don't do the soda, I don't do the bread, I don't do a lot of fried. So Rico spoke on, you can't do it all. The doctor told him you got to give up the fries or the burger, but you can't do it all. So that's why I try to balance it out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I know the cigars and the liquor ain't too good though for me.
Yeah. Well, I tried Rico's way, and I did the veggies, and I did all that. That's why I was telling y'all, those mushrooms are good. You can make them good. But I did that I lost 30 pounds, and then right after that, a baby came on. So some healing stuff was taking place. So I know that just going strictly and leaving all that meat alone and just eating your veggies and fruit, it works, because I did it. And the clarity in the mind and all of that, it came back. Everything, the eczema, everything that I had going on pretty much left. Everything I had going on left. And I was taking thyroid medication as well that the doctors were prescribing. And I don't take any of that no more. Everything I take is pretty much herbal.
So you said I've been dealing with eczema since a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do to get rid of that?
I changed my diet. I changed what I was eating.
I've changed my diet. It got to be something I'm doing. I don't do fried foods too often. I don't do any soda. I don't do white bread. If I do bread, it's gonna be wheat, whole grain. I drink a lot of water. I don't do juices. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's in the blood. That's all I can tell you. It's in the blood. Because when I eliminated all of that stuff, it all went away. But as soon as I started back eating wrong, it came right back. So it's all in what you eat. And so everything that Rico was saying was on point. Definitely.
Oh,
Everything was on point.
He's definitely done his research.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know if we're going to do the next session like I planned. Let's see. One moment.
Let me see. Hold on one moment.
So I might have my boy, Mr. Palmer, come on. We might have to skip a session. Have him come on and do his session. Man, anybody tuned in, please be patient with us. Hold up, I got, okay, this is Gigi here. All right.
Okay, he's trying to log on.
Okay, the first session went over the time frame. So thanks for being patient with us. So we got our next two guys, our next two men coming on. Gigi.
Hey, man, I apologize all these technical difficulties, man.
Hey, man, it's okay, man. I understand. I think, hey, the first session ran over, so I thank you for standing by, man, being patient.
Man.
But I didn't want to stop it because it was good energy, man, was flowing and good information.
Okay,
So,
and Mr. Owens is on now.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Owens.
Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, brothers.
Well, I want to introduce you two men. The two men on the previous session, they knew each other. We're from the Pleasant Grove. They knew each other. But you two gentlemen, y'all don't know each other, I don't think. We got Mr. Warren Owens and Mr. GG. Wine. We call him Wine. Some people call him GG. I'm going to introduce you two brothers.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm going to tell you something, man. This was just meant to be. I watched your video of you doing the peaceful protest and speaking. And you stated, you were out of Richardson. And I didn't know that.
Who, me or?
You.
No, I'm from McKinney.
McKinney, I'm sorry, McKinney.
McKinney, Texas.
Yes, McKinney. So McKinney. So I didn't know that. And you guys were already on the same session together. And so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, man, Gigi's out of McKinney too. And it just ended up two brothers with certain similar plights. Both in McKinney. Man,
brother, you from McKinney, brother?
I ain't from McKinney. I just reside in McKinney. I'm from Pleasant Grove.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he resides in McKinney.
Okay.
So I want to thank you, brothers, for joining this session here, man. It's called Life After Incarceration, Living with a Felony. So we're gonna cover a bunch of stuff, man. How does a brother get in that position, and life after he comes out of that? And so, like I asked the two brothers previously, so GG and Warren, if I was just to come up on the scene out of space and meet you guys, who is GG? Who is Warren Owens? How would you deliver that? How would you summarize that? Describe who you are.
Well, I'll let the brother go first. I'll let the other brother go first.
Okay. Gigi might be having some technical difficulties. He's paused. It's frozen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say, when I was younger, I was quite the troublesome youth, troublemaker type. But as I grew older, and wiser, I changed out of those ways, and basically now I'm more of a family type individual. and you know, I do more for you know, kids and my community.
Okay. So let's take it back. You say you were a troubled youth.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Where do you think birthed that?
Well, basically, you know, it came from. I can't say, you know, where I was the one with absent parents, anything like that, because my parents raised me in the proper direction. It was just the fact of as a youth, what we saw growing up in the hood. You know, like in our hood, we idolized, you know, the cars and the money and the women and things like that, and that's what we looked up to. In my day and age, all of my friends as well, you know, so we wanted that fast money, we wanted the cars, we wanted the women, we wanted that type of attention. So a regular job wasn't getting that. So I did other means to get that type of thing. Instead of thinking at that present time, I wasn't thinking about my future. I was just thinking about here and now. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of Black youth does. They think about here and now. They don't think about, you know, the future. Because, I mean, we don't look at everything as a whole, that what we do now in our youth would affect us at this age. You understand? Because I still have issues that carry from maybe 25, 30 years ago that still, you know, follow me now, you know, and that's something that I didn't think about then.
Right. So basically it's just, and I go back to this, the self-discipline.
Yeah, self-discipline.
The choices, personal choices. So it's you said something really ironic. I had this thought the other day, maybe it was yesterday. I was thinking back, and I said, man, when I got in corporate America, I grew up in Pleasant Grove, but I had to drive to the north, Plano or Richardson or Addison, to be in corporate America to make the kind of money I wanted to make. I had to come out of my community.
Yeah.
But when I went out there to work, I noticed those coworkers, they grew up in that community. They never had to leave their community for growth, to acquire the career they wanted, to get the money they wanted. So you said when you were growing up, you see the guys with the flashy cars, but the only guys with the flashy cars and the jewelry, most of the time, are doing illegal.
Yeah,
illegal. You can't get somebody that's doing the legal hustle that has the car. You might see a guy or two. Growing up, I saw a guy or two, but for the most part, it was the guys doing the illegal business that had the cars. And whereas when you go out to and Plano got in certain parts of the hood too, but when you got, for the majority, Plano and different Addison, that's just the norm for a regular guy to have a nice car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and they're doing it the legal way, you know, so that's just, and I was thinking about, like, today, I was like, man, how do we have economic growth in our community so we don't have to go outside of it?
Outside of the community, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
To acquire, because there are no corporations in Pleasant Grove, in Oak Cliff. There are no.
there are none in the neighborhood. There are none in the neighborhood where I live at either. In McKinney, there are no businesses like that. I mean,
yeah, McKinney got his side too. I found out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the councilman, like I said, the councilman there, he's trying to get businesses to come there, you know, for that type of thing. And I just saw a question down there where it said about integration, and that affected McKinney a lot, because like my father told me that back in their times, you know, the Black businesses, they were all through McKinney. You had a Black cleaners, you had a Black store, you had Black owned businesses. But then when integration came, and we figured out that we could go to the businesses where white people patronize, then we stopped going to the black businesses and went over there because we felt like we could just, you know, we left the hood and went to the white businesses, and that kind of crossed out the black businesses in that neighborhood. That's what happened to McKinney. I'm just speaking for McKinney wise. I don't know about any other neighborhoods, but I mean that did happen in the area I'm from.
But I think that's across. I think that's same thing across the country.
I think it's across the country as well.
Right.
You know, but and like my father said, you know, integration messed up the black entrepreneurs there. You know, and I mean it just went into a totally different direction because, you know, they felt like, hey, we can go over here now and shop in these same stores with Caucasian Americans, and we can go over here and we don't have to go to the hood, which we should have just kept our dollars in the black community.
So for some reason, and we'll probably never know the real answer, the true answer, but it sounds like we thought being able to live next to whites and being able to shop in their stores brought us value. Like we
Exactly. Exactly.
That was our downfall.
Yeah.
That was the downfall of black people is doing that and believing that we were better because now we can shop with them. So we're better now. We made it. We finally made it so we can shop with them and we can go in their environment and do this and this and that. But I mean, when we should have basically kept it in our hoods, you know, that's the problem now. The black dollars is going out the hood and it's not circulating. We don't circulate the black. We're the only people that don't do that.
Right.
If you know that.
Exactly.
We're the only people that don't circulate our dollars like that in the black neighborhoods. You know, we let all these people, and I'll go on and on about this. We let all these people come in and set up shop in our neighborhoods and at the corner stores, nail shops, nail salons or whatnot, beauty shops where you get the hair and all that stuff. We let other ethnic backgrounds come in there and set up shop in our hoods, and it's not returning dollars to our hood.
Right.
And that's a major problem that we have.
You know what? And I didn't know this, how they come in the neighborhood, you know, the gas stations, the Arab corner stores and the Chinese nail shops. They go through the alderman. It's the alderman that allows them to come in to set up shop. I never knew how they did it. They just did it. It's the alderman.
Yeah, we don't have an alderman. You're in Chicago.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in Chicago. But in Chicago,
we
got well, whoever the councilman or alderman, they the one who sanctions that. And when they sanction that, every year when it comes to the election, they donate or they put their posters in their stores. So it's the councilmen or the alderman who allows this to happen.
Well, no, it's still our problem. It's still our problem.
It's our problem.
No, because we
have our problem, definitely.
We have to start creating politicians from the grassroots.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right. We got to try to, that's what I'm saying. It's them. And they don't say nothing to us about it. They just see it. We have to change the people that's running our areas.
Right. We have to start voting locally.
Yes.
Yes. It definitely starts locally. Yes.
Right.
That's the only way we're going to get a change in our communities is we start voting locally. Right. You know?
Yes.
So let's get back.
That's the main thing to worry about.
Right. So let's get back on what we were talking about. So you made the choices. You got into the trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the system. Now, when you get in the system, the first time you got in the system, I would think it was a misdemeanor.
Me? Or
you.
No, the first time I got into it's a funny story. The first time I got into the system, it was a felony.
Wow, you started out strong.
Yeah, it was and it shouldn't have been a felony because it was in McKinney. But I mean, it was a couple of days after high school. I mean, I graduated high school, and a couple of guys, you know, for instance, there was some guys, man, we got into a little altercation with some other guys in another town, and they called it a riot because some people got hurt in that said riot, and they charged us all with felonies.
Wow, man, that's a similar story.
They charged the Hispanics and the black guys with felonies. The white guys, they didn't get in any trouble. So that's what happened.
Man, that's a similar
Wow,
story to
that's crazy.
Allen Iverson and the wide receiver, man,
As a
retired.
matter of fact, I can tell you every black person that got in trouble with me, we all winded up going to prison. Every single black one that got in trouble with me. And it was 1, 2, 3. It was 3 of us all together. We got in trouble, but they let the white guys that were with us, they let them go. And it was actually the Caucasian's brother. See, we all played football together. And long story short, they in another town next to us, they jumped on the guy's brother. So he came to the hood to get the guys that he played football with to come help him. You know, so then we went to their town and a fight broke out and some other individuals pulled out weapons and whatnot, and somebody got hit with a bat and all the brothers and Hispanics got charged. The white guys walked. They were there with us. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
so everybody that was black winded up going to prison from those same charges, and we all were in high school after. I mean, we all just got out of high school, or I think one guy was still in high school because I was a little bit older than him. But we all wound up getting felony criminal records from that.
Wow. So, man, you're at a young age, 2 years out of high school.
Yeah, no, it was a year. I was 19. A
year out of high school. You got a felony on you.
It also stopped me from going to the military.
Yeah, that'll stop you. So with that felony, was it just a felony? You went to probation, or you actually went to prison for that?
I had 5 years. I got 5 years deferred adjudication. Okay. And I was going to go to the military. I'd already had a date to leave and everything. I was going to the military, to the Marines to be exact. And then they canceled all of that because I had pled to that deferred adjudication.
Wow. So what does that do to you at a young age, man? Like psychologically and emotionally, like what does that do?
Well, emotionally and psychologically to me, it you know, I really didn't like school. I'm gonna tell you about it. I didn't like school. You know, I could do the work and all that, but I just really didn't. I really went into school too much. You know, I was just trying to get in and get out. Mm-hmm. So I viewed the military as something for me to travel the world and see the world. I wanted to be a highway patrolman. That was my thing because they came to the school. You know how they come to school when you're at youth. The military came to school. Highway patrolmen came to school, and what caught my eye was the uniform. And I liked the way both uniforms looked, how neat and clean they were. So my plan was to be in the military, in the Marines, and then go on and try to be a highway patrolman. But that cut it short, you know, due to the fact that I got in a little trouble. And then it just kept going on from there. It kept building up after that. You know, after that felony, it did something psychologically to me because then I was stuck. I felt like I was stuck in McKinney, and all my friends were doing the same exact thing. All of my friends, either they would. Nobody went to school really well. Two or three of them, I think, went to school on football, but most everybody was either hustling dope or something within the dope game. You know, because that's what, you know, in that type of neighborhood, you know, low economics. That's what was there. You know.
Right. So, looking back, do you think your self-esteem was crushed?
Yes.
At the time, you probably didn't feel that way, but looking back, yeah. Did you feel that way at the time? Yeah.
No, not at the time. I was like, well, I just do something else. But I mean, as I got a little bit older, I felt like it was kind of crushed because then I felt trapped in a place that I really was ready to leave. You understand? Because we didn't have a lot of people to look up to in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Besides somebody that was hustling. So we didn't really have a lot of people to look up to, you know? I mean, people weren't going down there. We didn't have any doctors and lawyers and all that. The most, I'm telling you, the highest paid things that was in my neighborhood in my time was people worked for the city of Richardson. A lot of black guys worked for the city of Richardson, which they were trash men. Mm-hmm. That was it. And you know, considering it being a youth, you either like, here, I'm gonna sell this illegal substance, I'm gonna go be a trash man. That's what people were doing. They were working for the city of Richardson. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna deal with no trash. So give me this dope. You understand?
Right. So a year out of high school, man, you catch a felony, adjudicated probation, deferred probation. And when's the next time you caught a felony or a case?
See, the next time it had to do with drugs and selling drugs, selling crack cocaine.
Yeah.
That's what it had to deal with.
So it seemed like, man, it was just, I hate to call it a trap, but it basically was a trap at a young age. I mean, they put a felony on you. So now it's limited. Now your options are limited. You haven't even acquired a skill. Yeah.
So basically, you know, after that, I tried to get a job, and they look at that. You know, oh man, you got a riot charge on you, got this felony on you. You're aggressive. So then, after that, y'all know the program. After that, you're an aggressive individual, so we can't hire you. I've had that happen to me before I started my own thing with my truck. That happened to me maybe, my wife can remember, maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I went all the way through an interview, all the way through to the last 2 people, and I thought I was gonna get hired. It was a bread. It wasn't really an interview. I was trying to purchase a bread route. Y'all know what that? But it was at
Miss Baird's.
Yeah.
A bread route, correctly. And I went to the place to do it and everything. I got through the whole interview, and the last person that talked to me, he asked me this question. He said, and y'all have to. I'm 48 now. I was 40 at the time, and he asked me this question. He said, so what do you do if someone gives you a hard time at the dock? And I said, sir, all I'm trying to do is make my money. I said, I'm not concerned with anything anybody has to say smart, anything like that. I said, I'm trying to make my money. I'm not going to have any confrontations. I'm too old to be doing that. So basically, he told another person there that he didn't believe what I said because I looked like I was violent. I looked like I was violent person.
Right.
So they denied me of that. And that really, my wife could tell you, she's on there now, that really depressed me right then. That really, it broke me down. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I literally cried. I cried to her about that. It broke my spirit then, you know, and I was thinking like, wait, this happened when I was in high school. You trying to tell me a riot offense that happened in 1991 can affect me in 2010?
Yeah. It's gonna rise, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it rides with you the whole entire time. It rides with you.
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
We can hear you.
All right, man. I had excuse me, man. Yeah.
You still freezing up. Yeah. So man, so you're in the system. So do you think over time it created a pattern, or you gave up? It's like, this is my life. I gotta hustle, and it just became a bigger ball, man. This little snowflake became a huge ball.
Man, after getting denied of good paying jobs, you know, and basically telling me, you know, you can work for these peanuts. And at the time, I'm having kids, you know, and I'm thinking like, man, I'm not gonna work. I'll rewind back to something I saw. I don't know if you saw me on your when y'all were talking earlier to that gentleman. What the gentleman
Rico.
earlier before we came on? I can't remember.
Rico.
Yeah. Him and I have the same similar story about going back to the dope game. You understand? Because if you cannot provide for your family the way you feel like you can provide for your family, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. That means I'll do whatever I have to do so my kids can be okay, so they won't have to struggle or whatnot. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to make ends meet, you know. And those jobs weren't paying anything, you know, $7 or $8. What am I gonna do with the $7 or $8 and I got 6 kids?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I tell brothers, you instantly gotta have an entrepreneur mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't depend on the system or corporate America to give you a job once that felony hits, man. And I got misdemeanor. I don't have a felony. I got old misdemeanors, and that still comes up. And I got to explain. So I can imagine what a felony, you know.
I have to still explain stuff that happened 20 now almost 20, it was 91, so 90, I think 95. So 25 years ago, I still have to explain things that happened 25 years ago.
So how long you locked up? 25 years?
I can hear you.
What's that, GG?
How long you locked up, big bro?
I did 3 and then a 2.
Oh, all right.
Okay, yeah. You good, GG? You freezing on me. You keep freezing on me, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so, man, so you're dealing with the felony. You can't get employed, not the employment you want and desire to provide for your family. So you got this temptation. Like, how do you fight that? How do you fight that temptation?
Man, it is extremely. I'm gonna tell you, gentlemen, stop selling illegal narcotics was probably the roughest thing I ever had to do. Because for one, me with my mind frame, I don't like people telling me what to do. That's why I have my truck now. That's why I did personal training for so many years, and then went on to do the trucks, because I don't like people telling me what to do. And some people don't know how to talk to you when addressing you, especially if you have a criminal record. A lot of don't take it the wrong way, a lot of Caucasian individuals think they can talk down to you because you have a criminal record. They act like you need them, you know. And I just can't handle people talking to me. You know, you talk to me like I'm a man and show me some respect, and I'm gonna talk to you like a man the same way. A lot of people don't do that when they find out you have a felony. They're not trying to talk to you with respect. They try to talk to you like you're trash.
Right. Right. And you know what I discovered, that your situation might be different. I looked at some of y'all old posts on Facebook. Y'all been together for a while. If everyone doesn't know, Chiquita Owens, and they got the same last name, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. Chiquita Owens and Warren Owens are a married couple. So y'all go way back. When did y'all start dating?
1996.
Yeah,
96.
Okay.
I was 19 years old.
Okay. And you had already had the felony warrant?
Yes.
So
yes.
And I'm thinking you knew that, Chiquita.
I think at the time when we met, I didn't. But as things went along, I found out. He started confiding and sharing things.
So as a couple, like as a spouse, what strain does that have on you? That could be, because that's the whole family takes on that felony.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've been the whisperer, the one in his ear. So, I mean, he said on many occasions, you know, I've always been there and been that extra support, motivated and encouraging, even like he was talking about the Mrs. Birds thing, you know, whatever is going down, you know, I've always been that one to just be there for support, to encourage him, you know, and now, you know, he's able to, he got his own company and he's doing his own thing, and he's been doing that for a while, you know, even with the personal training, you know, that was independent. So he's been doing his own thing for a while. So I think that, you know, for anybody that's listening, you know, just making sure that they have that extra support or have that backbone to be able to be there to encourage them in the right direction. And like Rico was saying, he had his maid telling him don't stop.
Right. And she brought him to church.
Yeah.
And mine was telling me to stop. So
right.
She was telling me to
stop. That's why she and he are no longer together and y'all still together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked out. So I mean, that worked in y'all situation. Y'all were fairly young, but I also see brothers, they get a felony, they go to the penitentiary, and man, you can't get housing.
that's true. That's true.
Can't get employment. You can't get the employment you really need as a man to take care of. Right. You can't get a gun, so they take your gun. Sometimes you can't get a barber license. You can't vote. So what it's doing is emasculating you and disarming you as a man. You can't even get a fishing license. You can't get a hunting license.
Do you know that like you're saying, when we were together, all the apartments were in my wife's name. Where we had to live.
That's what I was getting to.
Was with her, and then maybe me underneath later on. But as far as like when we got together, the apartments had to be in her name because she didn't have a record and I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was getting to. In your situation at work, y'all were young, but a lot of brothers, they come out the system 30, 35. They're forced to get with women that they don't even want to be with. You know what I'm saying? And it's just emasculating as a man to where you can't protect, provide, and really teach because they just disarm you. They're taking everything from you. And now the family is broken up. That relationship ain't gonna last because it wasn't rooted in the right thing. It was out of desperation.
Yeah.
So now you got kids being formed in this relationship too. All right. And it's just a revolving door of chaos. And now this brother's on child support, but he can't even really provide for himself. And then it's just breaking up the black family. And so your situation is a bit different. Y'all started out young. Yeah. But a lot of brothers, man, they're really struggling out here to find their footing. I mean, what can you say to these guys?
Well, you described my situation before I met my wife. I was in one of those type of relationships that you had. I was there because I kids, you know. But I was there, you know, and like you said, you had to X that person out and go on my merry way. But so you did just explain what I'm saying. But now what was your question again?
What can you say to those brothers that's in that situation? Or is there anything to say? Do we just need to work on changing the laws?
Yeah, the laws need to be changed. And also, when brothers get into that type of situation, sometimes they might just need somebody to talk to, or some type of counseling or something once leaving the prison system. Because it was hard for me, when I left the prison system and I had somebody. Just think how hard it is when you don't have somebody and you have to go through that stuff that they have to go through. You know what I'm saying? And it's rough on the mind, you know, and us as men, you know, we look at like we can't really, especially black men, we don't really want to talk to nobody about our problem. We keep it in. Right. You know, more now. If I look back at the time, I should have talked more about it. You understand what I'm saying? I should have talked more about it to my wife too, because I kept a lot in too about, you know, man, I can't find this good job. Man, I'm less than a man because I can't provide for my kids, for my wife and all that. Man, it tore me up because I got out a couple of days before Christmas. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the 19th of December. And, you know, Christmas coming up, I couldn't buy anybody anything for Christmas. And that did something to my mind frame. And daddy's home, but I mean, he didn't have anything, you know what I'm saying, to give to his own children, you know. And I mean, it's hard, man. As being a man, you think you failed, you know. So I mean, we should use up. I mean, when you get out, they do have programs, you know, where you can go talk to somebody. But most of us don't use that. Most of us don't use that. We figure like we can handle it ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to get out of that macho attitude that we have with things like that, and we need to use use what they have, the system that they have for you in place when you do get out.
Right. Right. So, I mean, what would your advice be to stop that from even happening? What could have been said to you as a young man to prevent that even happening? That situation even happening? Because I tell you, I like your energy, but a lot of you kind of a throwback the old black man. A lot of brothers, you're aggressive, alpha man. I like it, but a lot of people are intimidated. Right. So that was gonna be you regardless. That's just your personality. So I'm digging that. But what could have been said to you or done to you to prevent this from even happening?
Well, that's a question I really don't have an answer for, brother. My father and my mother tried everything, to tell me, hey man, look, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I just was like, hey, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I mean, my mother and father tried hard to get me out of that type of lifestyle. But if you understand, man, at a young age, and I'm just speaking at the time how young I was, if you versus having a job, that's temptation. You versus having a job and you working all the time, you have a job and you working all the time, and you living from check to check, versus going out here and buying you some drugs and selling it, and you ain't not living check to check, and you go out and buy whatever you want. At my young age, you're gonna pick that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of working 40 hours a week and you barely making it. You understand?
Right.
That's what I did. I chose that life where I say, hey man, I can go out here and do this and this and that. I'm not gonna be broke, versus the life of me working every day and I'm gonna be broke at the end of the week. I mean, that's just I don't think anything would have changed that, because it was people trying to talk to me, family members trying to talk to me. I had an uncle that was a preacher trying to talk to me. My grandmother tried to talk to me, but I just really wasn't trying to hear it.
Right. And I'll assume from there it gets worse and worse.
Yeah, so, I wish now. I mean, after I started getting tried, I wish I would have listened to them, but I just chose not to, because the saying is true: money is the root of all evilness. Money is the root of all evilness, and at that present time in my mind frame, at that young age, as I was gonna do whatever I had to do to get that money in my pocket. So I really wasn't trying to hear it. What anybody was saying. Right. And that's how some of these youth are now. When I try to talk to them, they're not really trying to hear it. They listen to me and respect what I'm saying, but a lot of them aren't trying to hear what they're saying, what I'm trying to say about it. They're like, well, he's just an old guy. He don't know what he's talking about.
Right. So I got a question for you. We got a guy on, my buddy Michael Watkins. He's listening in, and he and I go back and forth about this. And I don't want to misquote him, but his take, for the most part, is the system is treating us badly. The system is why we're in the position we get in. My take on it is a lack of self-discipline, a lack of focus. Anytime I got into trouble, man, I have to be honest with myself, it was because of my decision, my lack of self-discipline, my lack of focus, my lack of patience, why I did what I did. A white man wasn't around until I went to get arrested or go to court. But it was my choices. And I think for us to have true change, it's going to be taking on personal accountability, personal responsibility. We know, man, we know what we got to do. Yeah. It's about being focused and disciplined. And that's the hardest thing in life, is being disciplined. There's nothing more difficult than that, than being self-disciplined and being focused. And I think that's going to create change. If we change within, our outside would change. Our outside conditions would change. That's me. I don't take on the victim. Now, is everything fair? Is everything equal? No. But we got to take some personal accountability for this.
So Michael says systematic denial of services and access. He said, Warren said only the blacks and Hispanics went to jail. That is the system.
I agree. But Warren also said that he took himself over to that neighborhood. Right?
Yeah.
You you weren't dragged over there, right?
No, I wasn't dragged over there, but you know, as being, it was a lot of peer pressure, you know, and besides the type of reputation that I had, like, oh yeah, he gonna get out there, you know what I mean? So that's, you know, that type of reputation. So, you know, I just went along with it. You know, and like you said, I could have said no, and everything you said was true, but everything that the other brother said is true also, because once you got into that system,
right,
you understand, they're not gonna let you out.
Oh, I agree.
So once you got into that system, you had, I feel like I had to do whatever I had to do that, because me personally, I wasn't about to let my kids live in no poverty, you know. And if I wouldn't have done what the things that I've done, I mean, my kids would have basically been, excuse my language, ass out.
Right.
So, you know, the system, I agree with what he said about the system, and I also agree with what you said about taking accountability, because nobody made me go there. Nobody put any crack in my hand and made me sell any crack. Nobody put that pistol in me and made me do that. I did that all on my own, and I take full accountability of that, you know.
Right.
But also, when I got into that system didn't let me go.
Oh yeah, the system doesn't treat everybody equal. I agree. I know that firsthand. Man. They don't treat you equal. They don't treat you fairly. By the numbers, we get more time for the same crime a white guy does. That's facts. But my thing is, we have to teach our boys at a young age that, hey, the system ain't fair. Don't even get involved with them. Don't even get involved. If you know it's shit over there, why walk over there? And so we gotta stop letting our boys be babied so much, be naive, and we got to hip them to reality. And hopefully they listen and avoid even getting involved with the system. Yeah.
That's correct. That's what I tell my boys now. So I'm fortunate by the grace of God that my boys aren't, well, besides one, most of my boys didn't get in any trouble. You know, I try to teach them to do better than what their father has done, you know, and I tried to keep them off of the streets, you know, as far as what I was doing, you know, on the streets. I try to keep them off of that type of lifestyle and all that. But, you know, kids nowadays, they're easily influenced, because what are they seeing? The rap music, all the music is talking about selling dope, women, jewelry, cars, all that, banging on the block, shooting people, and they're steadily put into their heads all the time, and it's steadily being preached to the black youth by these rappers and singers and all that stuff, and they feeding into it, you know, and that's what they trying to live that life through what the music is saying, you know.
Yeah, I agree, but I think it's always been there. I think the temptation has always been there. And people say, and then you said it, money is the root of all evil. Somewhat, but why do you want the money? You want the money because of the girl.
Yes.
Okay, let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. You want the money.
You want the car and the money for the girl.
You don't want it for me. Yeah, you don't want it for me. Another brother don't care what you drive. He don't care what you wearing, right? You want it, and it's in any civilization. It's with the lion and the lioness, the one with the longest name. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The peacock. He gonna red, mine colorful. I got more spots. That's the one she want. You know, and dogs. She want the alpha dog. So that's just the way it is. That's how we are as mammals. So it's for the woman. So the temptation's always been there to please the woman, to impress the woman. So we got to get focused on doing what we're supposed to do within ourselves, man. Focus on our God-given purpose. Not focus so much on these women. They're gonna be there.
Yep, facts.
They're gonna be there. They ain't going nowhere.
Facts.
But we get into trouble selling dope, stealing, or whatever the case may be, because of the women, to get them or to keep them or to provide for the children we created with them. Right. It's all connected to a woman. So, but we got to focus. We got to focus on establishing ourselves. No, I'm just saying.
Facts.
That's the truth. We got to focus on establishing ourselves, focus on our God-given purpose and talents, and man, just keep the woman in the right perspective.
Right.
Right? Keep her in the right perspective. Don't get all this in love and trying to please her, man. Focus. That's what we got to teach these young boys. Focus on your gifts. And the women gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And SD, can you share those three that you give? Is it time, talent, and
Yeah, time, talent, and treasure.
time, talent, and treasure?
So that's what we got to focus on. Our time, we got to focus on our time, putting our time where it needs to be, our talent, all right, our gifts, and our token, our treasure, our money.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, we'll forfeit all of that for a woman. I guarantee you, more brothers get killed beefing over a woman than beefing just on principle.
Yep. Yep.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
I never did that.
I'll just say
I never did either, but I've seen
not
it.
that one.
I've seen
I
it.
never did that,
but have somebody tried to beef with you over a woman?
Me?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm trying
You
to
might
think.
not have initiated it.
I'm trying to think after so long. No.
Man, come on, Warren.
I did.
Look, SD, I wasn't that kind of girl, so he ain't had them kind of problems.
Well, yeah, y'all were young. I forget y'all were young. Y'all were young.
Had to deal with those type of issues. Somebody beefing with me over a woman. You know?
Yeah.
But now I understand what you're saying, because a lot of my friends had to deal with that.
Right.
I never really had to deal with that one-on-one type because because I didn't I really didn't mess with girls like that I had to be beefing with somebody, another man about them. You know?
Right.
Because I mean, I'm just saying, with the reputation I had, you know, it was either, man, hey, he gonna do something to you. So
right.
it really wouldn't. I didn't have those type of issues.
Right. Okay. So GG, we got GG on. Man, I've known GG since junior high. GG, man, he's come a long way. GG, I'm gonna let you describe GG. I grew up with you. I know you growing up junior high as a gangster.
And SD, before you go, I know Warren got to go.
Okay.
Warren, did you want to say?
No, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm still here.
You good?
So Warren,
okay.
So Warren, I want to say, what do you got going on, man? How can the people get in contact with you if they want something?
I'm fine. I'm still gonna stay on for a minute.
Okay. So GG, you there with me?
Can't hear him.
I think you muted, brother. Turn your volume up.
Hello?
He just muted himself, I think.
Yeah, you muted it. Let's see. Get your volume up. Can you hear me? There he goes. The volume on your phone. Yeah, some technical difficulties. So Warren, what you got going on now, man? I know you said, and your wife said that you're an entrepreneur now.
Yes. Right now, you know, I have a box truck, and I do like somewhat like hot shots, whatnot. I subcontract myself to this company, and I do hot shots with my box truck.
Okay. Yeah, I looked on your page. That looked like you was working out competitively, like weightlifting on a competitive level.
Well, I mean, that has a lot of politics with it, man, and that I'm not really with, so I kind of gave that up as well. I used to be a personal trainer for a long time, and I did that for quite some time, And I got out of that when I found out I could make more money with the truck. So I switched up and did something different.
Okay. So what clicked? What was it that clicked? Because I think a lot of brothers need to allow this to click in their heads a lot sooner. What clicked when you said, hey, I'm gonna stop trying to get a job from these people and I just gotta do my own thing? Was it confidence you needed or what? Just an idea?
Hey, hold on just a second. Hold on
Okay.
just a second. I gotta stop this beeping. There it goes. Now what were you saying again?
What clicked in your head to where you finally decided, I gotta stop trying to get a job from these people and I just gotta create my own path? What was it that clicked? Was it a confidence thing? Or just
It was more upon me not liking working for somebody, you know, or people telling me necessarily what to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
I never was one, and my parents would tell you the same. Even when I was younger, I never liked people telling me what to do. So I took that upon myself as I wanted to be my own boss. Right. So I wanted to make my own way and do my own thing. So I just said, hey, besides, and like I pointed out earlier, by the way, I don't know if the other brothers on there know what have experienced that. By the way they talk to you when you have a felony on your record, you know, I didn't like that. You know, made me feel like they were putting themselves up here and I was down here. You know, and my wife will tell you when I'm jumping from different times when I had a job and she got me the job. As a matter of fact, when I first got out, she had got me a job with this guy, and he had said something I didn't like, and I just walked off the job. You know, I mean, she remember we was laughing about that the other day because he had called her. You know, I mean, and he had gave me a job, but he said something that didn't sit with me well, and I just left. You know, because like I said, they feel like they can talk to you in a certain manner because you have that criminal past, like you need them. You know, like, hey, well, I'm just gonna say whatever I want to say to this man because he needs me. Right. And I didn't want anybody to feel like they had that power over me, that I needed them for something. Right. Especially as me being a black man and they are a Caucasian. I don't want any Caucasian man to think I need them for anything. So right. I took it upon myself to pick up personal training, to try to have jobs without somebody telling me what to do. Like I used to drive a tow truck. Well, I would tell you that when I got out, I drove a tow truck. But a lot of jobs I had kept me away from my family. You understand? I used to have a job doing trees, trimming trees. I mean, not trimming trees, but knocking down trees for construction sites. And we'd go all over, you know. And my wife would be at home, and it took a lot of time for my kids. But that's the type of job I had to take because of my felony that I could really support my family. Right. You understand what I'm saying? My wife would tell you I was supporting my family, but I was gone all the time. Yeah. You know? And those are the type of jobs I had to take so they could be okay. Right. Right. And I didn't want to do that anymore, and I didn't feel like I had to answer to anybody because whether you know it or not, there are a lot of people in white America that will look down on us because we have those felonies and because we're black. And then they look at our criminal record and feel like that I'm aggressive. Well, shoot, I'll just tell him whatever, you know, and talk to him any kind of way because if he touched me, I'm going to call the police. Right. He going back. I've had it happen to me on a job. Wow. Where the man felt like he acted like he thought I was going to hurt him or something because he was talking to me aggressively. And he called the police. And they came out there. Yeah.
But that's happened to me. That's happened to me a couple of times. Just in having a conversation, a disagreement, the police was called on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't threaten you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get that, man. Can you hear me, Gigi? Your volume. I can't hear you at all, brother.
Wow.
We can't hear you.
His lips moving.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
SD, can you look on your end and make sure you don't have him muted?
No, he's out. He's not muted.
Okay.
So y'all got anything to add, ladies?
I just want to say, I mean, Mr. Owens, he has a powerful story. I mean, and just pretty much, up until this point, he's even worked with. Can you tell him about when you work with the youth? He used to work with youth, and I know that this whole segment that we're doing is reaching out to our young men as well.
Right.
But if there are any youth that are listening in, definitely some words for them.
I used to work with troubled youth and at a boot camp where these with children and their families as well. They would get into the little tabs of trouble, and I was basically the DI there with them, but I also counseled them as well about trying to stay out of trouble and off of the streets and doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. And as far as any illegal activities, some of them were on drugs, some of them were runaways, some of them carried weapons, some of them sold drugs, some of them stole cars. It was a different variety of individuals in there. But in this boot camp, they brought their families there on Sundays as well, and we had a whole family-orientated type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you said something, you made a post, this maybe a week or two ago, and I don't remember verbatim, but essentially you were saying you apologize for your past transgressions and what to the community.
Yes.
Man, that was powerful when I read that. I had never seen that, actually. I had never heard that or seen anybody do that. And maybe they have. I'd never heard it or seen it. I mean, what reflection were you having to make that just come off of you like that? Why did you need to get that off?
Sometimes what happened was that day I had drove through the neighborhood, my old stomping grounds, and I looked through the neighborhood, man, and I saw the destruction that a lot of guys from my generation caused, as far as infesting the community with drugs and everything. And, we carry guns and we was banging and selling drugs and all that. And I felt overwhelming guilt about that situation, man. I mean, man, I don't know if you was ever in the drug game or anything like that, but I mean,
I got involved.
I did too.
It weighed on my conscience. You understand? It weighed on my conscience. As old as I get, I'm almost 50 years old, and it weighed on my conscience what crack has done to our communities. I can guarantee you, everybody on here either knows somebody who sold crack or was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that we're talking to right now either knows somebody that was on it or somebody sold it, a family member.
Right.
And that's in the Black community. And I figured it out that I caused, in my mind, I felt like me distributing that substance to our community, I took fathers away from the families. You understand?
Right.
They were smoking it, and they don't have jobs. They gonna go stealing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They gonna steal something. They might steal. They might rob. They might kill. People will do anything that they can for those illegal narcotics. Women, I took women away from their kids. Women will sell their bodies, their soul, everything for that illegal narcotic. You break up the family. You break up the Black family. When you're doing that, either they can go to jail or they can wind up dead, wind up any type of health problems you cause in the community while these people having these crack babies. All that. I contributed to that, and it just ate through me, and I just felt like I owed my hood, or every hood that I ever sold it in, I owed them an apology for doing that, because it weighed heavy on my mind. You understand what I'm saying? You get older, you start thinking of stuff that happened in the past.
Right. Right.
You start thinking and you start reflecting. See, I didn't stop. The police didn't make me stop selling crack. The guilt got me. When I saw women trying to prostitute their daughters to get high. You understand? When I saw people stealing stuff from their kids during Christmas time and trying to sell it to get high. When I seen children looking for their mothers, wondering where their mothers is, and mothers are doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing. Children looking for their mothers, children being taken away from their mothers for the system, you know, yes, and such of that, you know. I mean, we basically, individuals like myself, we destroyed a community, and we destroyed our own community. And that just weighed on my mind. And I felt like I owed every other hood an apology because I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Man, up to the mistakes that he's done. Now, I might have done it for profit, but I still destroyed people.
Right.
I destroyed black families. You understand? And that bothers me. It still bothers me to this day. But all I can do now is ask the people that happened to forgive me, and I ask, you know, God for forgiveness.
Well, first, I applaud that, brother. But have you forgiven yourself?
Sometimes. Yes.
You know, sometimes can't be sometimes, though.
Sometimes I have. I've forgiven myself for it. But I say I've forgiven myself, but I still feel guilty for it. I feel guilty about it.
Yeah, you got to let that go, though.
Yeah. That's a stressor.
Yeah, you got to let that go. You did it, and you did it, and you have to accept, man, you did it from a place of ignorance.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you knew better, when your conscience was convicted, you changed. So you gotta let that go. You gotta forgive yourself. Ain't no sometimes, like, if I forgive my wife, I can't about a certain thing that she did. I can't sometimes forgive her about that thing. I got to forgive her totally, right?
Yeah.
So you got to forgive yourself, man. It happened. And I'm going to give a different perspective on this too. It's easier to move on in life and prosper in life if you're a drug addict or a former drug addict. People are more forgiving. They have more empathy. But for the drug dealer, people have very little empathy or compassion for it. But I see them in the same boat. They're both addicts.
Yeah.
And
I've said that before.
They're both lost. And they both need forgiveness. They both need compassion. But we don't look at it like that. But maybe not in your situation, but a lot of the drug dealers, moms are on drugs. So they're a product of that. But there's less forgiveness for the drug dealer. And I think we got to really look into that more compassion, man, forgiveness, and let these brothers and women, but I'm talking to brothers, man, move on in life and prosper in life. Stop emasculating them and disarming them. Because, man, you take my voting rights, you take my gun. You take, damn, man, you take my housing.
Passport, everything.
Right. I mean, you don't want me to survive. So.
And that just goes back to everything that's going on now, you know, that once you get a criminal record, the slavery starts all over. Right. And that's the systematic that I see Jorge talking about on here as well. It starts all over. And that's the way that they do it, through the system.
Right. Watkins said, "Oh, you already know I'm coming for you. LOL, you can't have it both ways." No, bro, what I'm saying is, no, we do need personal accountability. No, it starts with us. But when people mess up, we have to have some kind of compassion, man. We can't just kill them. We can't kill them, but leave them breathing. And that's the worst type of murder, is to kill a man, but leave him breathing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, we can't do that, man. We got to be compassionate. So
Y'all can hear me?
Have it both
Yes,
ways.
we can hear you now.
Oh, Lord have mercy, baby. I've been trying to get up in there, man.
So Gigi, man, I'm gonna get with you, man. So I know Gigi from junior high. I'm gonna let him tell his story, but Gigi ran with a gang, a crew, and he was known. And so everybody in the Grove knows Gigi, man. And I'm proud of this brother. I'm proud because I know where he come from. I know, so I'm proud of him. Glad to see him. And you know, he said something in his bio. I got a bio from him when I was getting this together that I sent over to Shakitha. He said he was incarcerated from 17 to 32. And after that, he had mental issues. So man, can you really go into that, brother? Because that was, me and my wife talked about that, and man, I saluted you. I said, man, that is being very vulnerable to share that. A lot of people would hide that.
Exactly.
That's birthright kind of be the measure on certain things, and you know, I just always have been kind of vulnerable to stuff because I open up easy. You know, I'm a kind of people person, but me, Genuine, that's me. Gigi, he was different. So in my them 15 from 17 to 32, that was 15 years. I was just 17, so I barely got over the 15-year mark, and I'm finna be this 13 years. Them other 2 years will be 15, so I'm 45, right?
Right.
I just turned 45 last week, right? So, just phases of life as I went through all of what I went through from somebody put something in my drink when I first come home, and I had to refigure things, and I just left penitentiary, and that's all I knew was spirituality. So that's what carried me through, because I knew that if I'd have chose selling drugs or whatever, it would have been just me walking and being subjecting myself to all different kinds of things because I didn't understand enough from my mental state right now.
Right.
So I had to, because I flirted with it before I got to that point. But when I got to that point, I realized I don't even really know who I'm talking to right now, that I had to get back from everything and everybody. And, you know, that's what my spiritual, but I always been spiritual. I just didn't understand that. It's like a bunch of different childhood friends. They turned out, or they turned out to want to be some type of God. And I just think a lot of, not just I think, it was a lot of, they contributed a lot that to me being in their life based off of the differences between me and those other guys. But however, it was a bunch of alterations had to be involved because, and then I had to rebalance myself a lot because every different episode was brand new because everything was naked to me. I'm just, everything right there in my face. Can't nobody hide who they really is because I'm in the spirit.
Right.
So
so you talking about coming back and trying to acclimate back to society after being locked up? Yeah.
After being locked up, and then not only was I just getting back home, that's when it happened. As I was trying to readjust now, I got to go back and readjust to all of the whole life in general.
Because of spiked drink.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I got to, all the life in general, boom, it start over. You a baby again in a grown man body. You gonna be able to do all the grown man stuff, but you gotta be careful because it's your first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So man, I'm looking at that. So you hadn't had a drink. Well, you probably was drinking at 17. We all started kind of young, but you really went out there to really experience life.
Nah.
So from 30,
mean,
so you was locked up from some 17 to 32 consecutively those years?
yeah, I had 2 15-year sentences, ran CC, and I did 15 years.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
man. So how did that change you being, no, let's start back. How did you even get to that point?
Which point?
To be locked up. What were the missteps you made in life to even get locked up?
As I go back and reflect on it, cause that's really all I can do. Cause the ingredients, the contents, all those things don't exist. I just got, scenarios and stuff. But just I see that I got off of my path because I got uncles, a bunch of people in my family just off into the ministry, right? Mm-hmm. But I think my rebellion was that I was a little stronger and I understood a little bit more with that than what was told, and my senses and them senses wasn't adding up. It was just a lot of the math. It just wasn't adding up, and automatically I'm gone straight. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't finna make me believe what my spirit tell me ain't gonna be true. It just ain't ringing true with me. So that's when me dealing with people on individual basis became important because that's the way I wanted to be dealt with, so
right.
Did that answer your question? I'm not sure.
So just your personal choices, you decided to go the other route instead of the religious route at first, or your family, you just got, I know you got a lot of people in your family, man. There's a lot of them. Yeah. So your personal choices, lack of self-discipline, that was it. And I'm not jabbing at you, but I'm trying to make a point to the world that the system had nothing to do with it. Were you making those choices?
No, the system didn't. That'll be me being me looking at it and understand how it's designed. I can say that they had their influences on it, but me myself saying that this is why I knew what I was going in spite of what I was influenced by or all of those kind of, I made the choice. I couldn't foresee what was next because the moment was so intoxicating. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you're on that high.
Yeah, I chased that high. But I was slow motion, slow boogie, but yeah, I chased that high.
Right. You've always been laid back, but like I said, you was known. So that high, being known, like Warren, he was known. That's a high, man. That's a drug in itself.
All right, hold up. I'm a. Even then, like now, that I'm like so laid back that don't nobody probably even know I exist unless somebody talking about me, and I hope that's a good thing because I done got back to me. That been some bad conversations, but
right.
I ain't never just got off on nobody thinking that I was more than I thought I was. That ain't never been my high. So
okay.
I just always been cool enough to be the dumb niggas homeboy or the nigga that don't nobody fuck with home, excuse my language, or cause I'm a people's person. I'm a people's person, and didn't nobody make me to tell me who I'm going or who I can or what tree I just didn't rock like that. And I don't rock like that. I deal with people for what I see the value, cause God got everybody here for a reason. There ain't no telling what they here for. Cause I think I missed the bus on a couple times cause I wasn't paying attention and I was looking at the description, walking to me, talking to me instead of listening to what the description was saying, because that's what was really for me.
Right. You weren't focused on the substance. You looking on the outside.
Yeah.
So man, you get locked up. Man, what goes through your head when the judge or the jury hand down that kind of time at 17 years old?
in my mind, it could have been worse, right? So, you know, my state of mind didn't even, because they was talking 40s and, you know, highest numbers than the one that I say, well, I'm finna go in there and see if this work. Because if this work, this is what I'm rocking with. So
Plea deal.
after I rock with,
Plea deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in here and cop out for something I can do, right? Because it was understood, hey man, how I got right here where I'm at right now, hey man, it's painful. So for all of the memories, cause this is like my start of my reset button when God wiped out all that and then just put everything back in front of me where I can see it, and it can't not be what it ain't showed itself to be proved to be. Cause I'm not here to judge you. You know what I'm saying? Me, so when he give it to me like that, that's just a second chance at life for me. Like, you know, yeah, I'm in the phases of it. It ain't just, I still see them, but they over there.
Okay.
Still right there, but they over there. But they right here in my.
Right. So you start doing the time, man. When do you think you adjusted to being there? Like you say, this is gonna be home. When did you finally adjust? Because I heard some people, it takes some time to adjust, to just really realize this is gonna be home for a minute.
Man, it seemed like for every situation that God done put me in or allowed me to put myself in and come out of, I was already prepared for it. I don't know what part of me made them preparations, because I ain't know some of that shit he said, you know what I'm saying? But I was already prepared for it, right?
Right.
So, shit, I mean, once I understood that this some grown man shit, I was already prepared for it. I wasn't dealing with no little boys no more. So, you know, my state of mind, the brains, all that stuff rose. But in my spirit, everything was relaxed. I'm here. It's, you know, ain't no figuring out that. But then, you know, being as though this is a whole nother realm of life.
Right.
The way they train your biological, you know, you got to train your biological clock to a bunch of different stuff to not get caught up in the system. Because if you train yourself around how the system going, then you a product of the system virtually. So it's a spirit talking to the mind while the body going through the motion thing. It ain't just being locked up, you know. So
yeah. It's an out-of-body experience.
Yes, man.
So basically, and I think Jay-Z got a line, you know, you can trap my body, but not my mind.
Yeah. And then what's see, like this niggas, right? Boom. NEGUS, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I looked in the dictionary, it wasn't even in a dictionary, right? But I Googled it and it's right on top of it, right? So it's talking about the spirit of us before we got where we at. You know, we kings, so we got to talk to us in kingship and not in regular, so we can relate to where they come from, but they wasn't telling us the truth about why they were so mad enough for us to feel like they done redefined nigga for us when by nature we kings.
Right.
That's why they were so much mad. You know, it's just it's a spiritual thing that I want to bring to the forefront of why we finna have a bunch of different conversations and help escort us through a bunch of the mental awareness and things of that nature, because only when we see ourselves as being different than what we was taught to be or what we was raised to be, or how we even look in the reflection and say, this is how I think of myself. We gotta start in the psych part of the spirit, or the spirit part of the psych, or before everything even come into any type of existence. You know, we gotta recycle and like you say, reset some of the most important stuff, and that's up in there. So we can and let the spirit and the mind have some conversations about what feel good and what feel good once we start to understand that it's a difference between a lot of different things. That's why they call it a lot of different things. Like queen, diva, woman, lady, all these people got different titles because they attribute to different aspects of life, lifestyle.
Of humanity,
So, yeah. So, you know, and then we want to start at the top and go back to the queen. I mean, diva is a beautiful thing. Woman is a beautiful thing. Lady is a beautiful thing. But queen is so highly divine. You know what I'm talking about? And we got to get back. Just like, I got my king, right? I ain't got the stuff made yet, but it stands for, know I need God, right? And under the queen, you know, boom, I'm question ye not. Because at some point we gotta allow them to become the one that they supposed to be, and you know, and not create so much separation. Where everything needs to start to complement each other. Cause that's what he said. He made stuff in pairs.
Right.
So stuff supposed to start to complement each other. And
polarity.
Yes.
And we gotta figure that out, man. So, man, you get out, and I mean, how difficult or or was it even challenging for you to live out here once you got out? Did you have a good support system? Because, you know, time has, man, 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had flip phones when you were 17.
Hey, man, well, I'm gonna say, well, God, this where that's why I speak this God stuff so strong, because that's why he allowed for me to understand what was and what wasn't and not be heartbroken by it, right? So he stripped me of my mind that I had, that so that the things that I experienced, I wouldn't be so offended by it, because I didn't have no remembrance of a damn thing, no way, right?
Oh,
so,
man, that was a blessing.
I appreciate that shit, right? Right? So I appreciate that. And in saying that, he just kept making the way for me. I ain't had no job. I don't believe in going to work for white folks, so whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't work for so many people that my attitude, or maybe I came and I had more to offer and they established and they did, and they felt I was threatened, because it wasn't nothing low. It was always something high. And it's just being as though they had the influential situation, that I probably be the one that seemed like I was the bad guy, but it was never nothing low that I brought to the table. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was just all those different kind of episodes. So I check up on a bunch of people. I go from state to state checking on people, you know, and God allowed that to happen because I ain't had no job. You know, I go from city to city, little country town, neighborhood to neighborhood, checking on people. I stay way out there, but I'm gonna come way over here, you know. And you know, it's just, I just be thankful, you understand me, that I ain't had the support that I wish I had, could have had, should have had, all those things right there. But I've been I done molded myself, or he done allowed me to be molded into a humble spot to where, if it don't happen, then it wasn't meant to happen. But do know, dear son, if you keep on moving, it's gonna happen. And here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening, man. I told you last year, and man, we've been trying to connect on something, and I told you last year, I said, I got something bubbling. I said, just be patient with me. I said, this thing gonna be bigger each year, just be patient. I got something bubbling for certain kind of guys that really don't fit into the mainstream. I don't really fit in with, I just like talk with how I like to talk. I like to deal with different, all kinds of brothers, and I want them to be able to talk the way they want to talk. That don't fit in the Christian circuit.
Right.
You know, and they don't fit over here with ET, or you know, they're more polished. I just want straight talkers, and we're gonna hit the core. We're gonna hit the core, man. That's what I want.
Facts.
So
yeah, I really be trying so close to failure. That ain't even my word, and I done been around so many people because I've been celebrating. So I done picked up some of that shit. I don't have to fast afterwards. You know what I'm talking about? So really, I really wanna bring the bigger spirit. You know, sometimes as I think, as I'm talking, the thought gets so small, but it's so big in my head that it almost blew my mouth off my face while ago trying to talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, say something, give me a break.
Once you train to talk, say something, give him a break.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go back and get it.
I really like that. I really like that shirt, brother.
Oh man, appreciate it, man.
I was explaining that to my wife and my children about the meaning of niggas. You know, I was explaining it to them about how they twisted the word around and made it derogatory for our people. And I was just explaining it to my daughter today. And it's funny you got that shirt. I really like that shirt, brother. I wanted to say that earlier.
Hey man, God better than all us put together. And I know that it's a lot that was said today that I even missed, but I know that I'm gonna get a chance to capture and recapture, because this ain't the end of nothing, it's just the beginning. That when the spirit start moving, it's gonna drop right in your living room, man. And hey, the dictionary, it ain't even in there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but nigga is N-I-G-G-E-R, they trying to talk about the wood.
That's
and all
in there,
those kind. See, they want the thing is mental conditioning. That's why our spirit, like they want our spirit and our mind, man. And I just knew that, man, God didn't put me out here to work for them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't put me out here because they ain't gonna treat me right. First of all, I done had a bunch of employees that let me get fired without even talking to me about it. I was just automatically wrong. And I'm like, hold up, that shit there is so, you like, they done assassinated my character to me. Let me go up and I really want to redeem myself, you know, but it ain't no fight when they say they right. You got to get off the property, the laws coming, you know, so I'm like, nah, I ain't putting myself in no predicament like that no more. Because the laws coming, and when they come and they hit my shit, man, I stayed on probation for 8 years. I had 5 different cases. 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Then when I'm trying to get together, I done bumped my head a couple of few months sometimes, just saying me. I'm trying to get together though with no outside influence, so to speak. Because everybody I talk to, they just so unlike me. It just didn't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get out of it what I could and keep on.
Feel you.
And by the time I got there sometime, it was a roadblock. Yeah, I had about 5 cases, man, for 8 years. And then I finally got to the power of it, and I said, God, man, let me get these driving license straight. So I got them. As soon as I got them, you took them. Let me get this stuff straight, man. And when I get this stuff straight, man, I'm like on some case-free stuff. I'm gonna smoke me some marijuana, stay cool and relax and do what you tell me to do, man. If that means I'm gone. You know what I'm talking about? And at the same time, though, I ran across a bunch of people that didn't understand or didn't accept the me that I was offering them, and they wanted to alter my image or my character or my story to fit them, you know. And them situations right there, they were so tested because I know that it was something different by me a long time ago that didn't fit the situation right now, because I really want to do so much stuff, but hey man, wouldn't even let me purchase. I've been trying to get it. I said, man, I need to get me, man, I ain't got down yet. It's been a long time, you hear me? And I know I can get them. I'm from where they at, you hear me?
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, so I just appreciate them for humbling me, man, and not move so hastily. Yeah.
Be still. Like the words say, be still.
Yeah.
Yeah, peace, be still, man.
So Gigi, I know you were working on a nonprofit. So what I got a question, hold up. So kind of piggybacking on what I was saying, Warren has stated in his Facebook post. And I can see Warren's dedicated to giving back, to redeem himself, to even out the scales, replenish or even out karma, you know, what are you doing to give back? I know you got a nonprofit. How passionate are about you giving back, you know, to the community, and hopefully stopping some guys going the way you went. Although you came out the other side of it, a lot of people don't come out on the side.
Man, like I moved so much. Only the places they know I've been there can say something, because I really don't even keep count of and I ain't never just the camera time. I just started going live. And stuff. But I got God kids from when I was about 10 or 11, when I was a kid myself. Yeah. You know, so, and not only that, I done worked with a couple of non-profit organizations, other organizations signing my name on today's list to be part of their demonstration. They work with Home Depots, building new houses, building little houses or tiny houses, you know, the fatherhood initiatives where we had got a bunch of fathers together and we was going out remaking houses, makeovers. We were doing makeovers. Now I just got with but I be with a bunch of little football teams and stuff. I do so much, I really don't even like talking about me. Now I'm doing I'm like the mentor, spiritual cultivator for some artists at Freeway Music Group that's gonna be down here in Dallas. Matter of fact, right now, they over there at where we were last week, doing a little get down. We just throwing little block parties and stuff for the people to come out and get a wholesome little piece of luxury on the flatlands, man, where we at. You know, we don't get them tasted, so to get them, offer them a free taste and some free food and some live and fun, you know what I'm saying? If you can rep, you can get up there and rep. No, we just come to let the neighborhood know that everybody welcome, not just to this neighborhood, because South Dallas is just a place where everybody had to go to get alcohol at one point, so ain't nobody new. Yeah, ain't nobody new to South Dallas. So come to South Dallas and just happen to be in so it's right here by it's on Hatcher, between 2nd and Robert B. Cullen, right? That's 30 right there by Sydney and Tide.
By the pool hall? Is that by the pool hall?
Is it by the pool hall?
Car wash, pool hall right there?
It's right there by Church's Chicken and the train station.
Okay, all right.
All right, you ain't gonna miss it right there with them two gas. There used to be some gas lines coming out the ground as you driving right there on Hatcher, but you can't miss it, right? It's 3517, man, and we just like to have fun, man, and show the community that we can all get right here at one spot, do something lavish, feel a little luxurious, and showcase talent. We can allow people that don't usually be in the same vicinity through the links of different echelons of individuals. Right. Because all of us ain't kids, some of us been grown, you know, so the grown state of mind kick in, you know, and then we start to realize that, you know, bigger than man is king. Because only, you know, some people are scared to acknowledge God in the conversation to somebody else because of shame or all that old type of stuff right there. But, you know, bigger than man is king. That's what our time about we going to see the king, you know, so we want to see somebody that's a reflection of us. So we gotta be king too, baby. Right. You know? Right. So that's how, you know, I want to keep pressing upon us that, you know, we ain't niggas. If we is, we these kind of niggas, and these kind of niggas is just another word for saying king. If you go back and look at, you know, the language, it just mean king too, brother. You know what I'm saying? We born this.
Oh, yeah, it's in my Facebook handle. I got niggas in my Facebook handle. SD niggas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
And then you saw it. I said, where I seen this at?
Yeah.
Man, SB niggas, you
Yeah,
so right,
I'm hip to it.
And I
Yeah.
pronounce that Negeus.
Nigga.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, huh?
All right. Hey.
So
I'm learning
man,
something new too.
Yeah.
So y'all want to add anything? Y'all got any questions for these men? I mean, I got my boy Watkins over here saying, man, this some real talk right here. Yeah, this real over here, man. This it's in depth. So
I just posted over here in the comments. I just posted that just from listening to everything, and this is just part of my counseling stuff that I do, something that I always share, is that whenever we're in a situation gonna lead to thoughts. Our thoughts lead to feelings, and our feelings lead to action. So whether it's negative or positive, whatever that situation is that you're in, it's your responsibility, as SD been saying. Like, we have to be able to take responsibility to change that negative into something positive. And it all starts in your mind, which all of y'all have been talking about the mind. We have heard that, the mind is the devil's playground. So it all starts in your mind. So what you do in that moment and how you think about that situation is going to change it. It can change it for the good, or it can change it for the bad.
Right.
So it all starts in the mind. And that's all. That's what I wanted to say. Everybody done touched on it.
Right.
Hey, excuse me. I had this other word called deniggerization, right? It wasn't absolutely mine. We used to have a think tank and we used to chop it up about different stuff, right? So, I would always say I'm gonna stay patient without turning into a patient. That's how I end up right here, because I supposed to be gone a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But boy, I invited me, and I'm gonna be patient with him because he been patient with me, right? So, but deniggerization is the process of removing the nigger from the state of mind of the individual, right? So that's the process of psychologically and spiritually renaming what they done messed us up with and taking what they done messed up with out of us, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Re-engineering.
I like that.
So yeah, that's
Reniggerization.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that, man. So, man, what y'all brothers want to leave us with something, man? After y'all, we're going to take a little music break, and we're going to come back with my boy, Mr. Palmer. Y'all got anything y'all want to end the people with? Mr. Warren Owens and
no, I just like to thank you for having me on. And that brother right there, man, he said he hit on some top points. We have some of the same feelings on some things. He hit some good top points, man. I just like to thank y'all for having me on and everything like that.
Well, I thank you for joining, man, being vulnerable, sharing your story. A lot of people don't want to share the story. They're embarrassed or whatever. But
it took me a while.
Yeah. But you there though.
Yeah. Once you get past the jiggles,
Miss Owens talked me into it.
But you know what? I will say, my boy that's on, Michael Watkins, he told me that he gave me a quote from Jill Scott, because I told him, we was talking about the book. I said, man, really, Mike? I really wrote this book to release some pain. That's why I started, to release pain I was going through. He said, man, that pain, he got this from Jill Scott, he said that pain no longer belonged to you.
Mm.
You went through what you went through. Now it's time to give it back to the world as a gift of wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just want y'all to remember that don't belong to you no more. Now you got to hand it back as wisdom to the world. And so somebody may avoid some things. Maybe they'll listen, maybe they don't. But hey, you gave it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it again.
Yes, man. Thank you, GG, man. One love to y'all. Hey, man, y'all can stick on if you want. We're gonna take a music break, and we coming back with my boy, Mr. Palmer.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Most definitely, dear brother. Appreciate all of y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't this what they waiting for? You ready? I used to pray, sound like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, shine like this. In a matter of time, I spent my slaughter in the back of the paddy wagon, cause like on wrist, see my dreams unfold.
through. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. It's one that you got to see it with a clear eye view. Got sure to try to bless me like I said I do. But the sneeze, these trick squeeze them, get cream. Never let them get in between the what we started. Look, but I'm lying hearted. They love it when I was stuck in their head. When I departed, I gotta get it. Colors. Draw like I'm an artist, I'm crawling with straight through walking foreigns in my garages are foreign. And I just sucking and swallowing anything for $1. They tell me get him, I got him. I did it without an album. I did it with Mariah. Love, I'm on fire. I used to get the hot drink, Philly, fly it. When I put the Rolls Royce, they thought it was lease. Then I put that new Ferrari, hey, the rest in peace. Hey, the rest in peace to the parking lot. Phantom so big, can't even fit in the parking spot. You ain't talking about my then what you talking about. Gangsta move inside, and I don't talk a lot. I don't say a word. I don't say a word. Was on my grind, and now I got what I deserve. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I would ask them all, y'all thought it was ready? Just to know these. Somebody pop out on the spinach, double in it. My team must say this, getting on lieutenant. Can't mean candy, burn like go. And live on my new, feel like my go. From right around my city with my head, my cause they want me there. And I gotta make it back home. Cause my mama need that bill money, my son needs some milk. See, try to take my life, they try to get killed. Come around you, get smoked. Nothing feeling, not poor women, don't around no joke. No, I don't know it's murder. When it come to me, that's all that I got. Don't be, I didn't get the DOA. I didn't get the KODs. Every time I'm in that, I get the phone, G's. But now I'm hanging out that drop, and I'm riding down no collar. They let me earn back on that young, be wildin'. We young, we mobbin'. Like Batman, we're robbing. We do go and make back. When I see on reclining, I'm like, what up? What up? If you ain't about that murder game, then shut up. If you get me in your ass, I get your pussy stuck up. When you touch down in my hood, no, that whole life ain't good. Catch me better in my head. That day he came on wood. With that boom of life in my feet, like that little engine I could. Boy, I slide down in your block. Like on 12 o'clock. And they be throwing deuces on the same day. Why? Nothing in my city, cause I'm still rolling them shots. And these lanes talking that bull. The same, that's lock. I'm the same. From church to the next page, that lock. This thing that came up and I had to wait for my clock. And they waiting on me, waiting on me. Still on that hood, my Rolls Royce on me. So remember me, I say remember me. So much money, everybody owing me. And when they see my time, my enemies remember me. We don't think up to 40 ain't nothing in the key. Hold up, bro, I'm rich. But they get like it, if I leave, they know me. But it was something about that rolling when they first touched me. Had me feeling like that though, but when they first touched me, I'm got
She the type to get chose. Girl so fine, she make it wanna shout. But I wanna see what she about. She walk that walk that walk that walk that
You like it what you see. Everything designer that's for me. That's why that when I walk, looking like you, trying to, yo, bitch, you got you in heat. Something that they got on these, you know that I'm on beat. Only you got you in heat, yeah. Trying to
tell no lie. Girl, I'm gonna let you in. Girl, I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna keep you waiting up. If you thought it's gonna get knocked out, you couldn't hide to see from a bunch. Baby, hold on tight when you ride me. You know I like to eat, give me up. If you thought it's gonna get knocked out, I wanna get it. All I ever from my ego. Baby, we gon' keep it. I need all that love on me. You gotta get what you see. Everything designer, that's for me. Swallow when I walk. Looking at you, strong. Yeah, you trip like you ain't heat. Strong, baby, come on me. You know that I'm on beat. All this you got to be. Well, you just running on me. Try to listen to me. That you fly through with an icy believe. You might just set a mission by the beach. It's all on your baby, suit your time. So you not the best inside your room, this and the garments for the week. Yeah, that's all on me. Yeah, I swear that's all on me. You making like you really want it. You gon' get it. Once I get it, I got you. You're feeling. I keep it, go, y'all push. Got you tripping. I can listen on camera. Counting digits. Every shit, deep shit. You like what you see. Everything is out of that song. That's why when I walk, you'll be like you. You trip that you ain't heat. Tell me, baby, God, on it. Know that I'm on it. Me. Aries up, face down. One night only, I'm from out of town. Damn new rules, we ain't waiting on it. And if the goose big cake on it, plane ticket, hotel, new bed, Chanel, sip sticks, get the hers. You a hater, I just got it 2 words. Tell a hater, I said. And tell you, I said. You, and that you came with. All them mistakes drinking my shit. You ain't what you doing. If you never take a picture, you don't know it all. That she said she a fan. Yeah, I understand, but I wanna get in her pants. Cause she licking her tongue out. She said she don't fuck out, but I'm like, what you talking about? What? I got 2 words for you. Tell a hater, I said. Oh, I said. All like Molo, when the money comes home, it's turn it. Stop trusting Mr. Brick, ain't coming with a stick. I don't touch him with that bill man, with the Scorpio, with the buster like a bitch when she turns. Work, y'all niggas work. Niggas wish put you in the circus in the cage with the lion letter. Hey, you put the circus at the fire on your homie, took a deal, but wasn't working. I mean, she said my bitch, she wanna. I like your friend, but really, yo, I wanna. Anybody in my hoodie, we gotta go. Now put your fingers on the screen. I used to still hate the age in the world. Hey, y'all know how this thing gon' know. Got your bitches technical on the first. What's up a meal? Still in the work. Get the question through the finish, y'all know, sir. I don't get cold on the earth. Blue life in the street, every world. See me on fire, hate, I know I got her. I'm so hood, classic work. 45 business, less in the earth. Might gon' die, don't get work. Who hotter than me? Nobody serve. Got a question for the street. Got a question for the beat, nigga. Got a question for the street. Got a question for the street. We doing it all. South side, the south side, south side, the south side. Everybody do the south side, the south side, the south side, the south side. Raise your hands to the south side, the south side, the south side, the south side. Everybody do the south side, the south side, south side, the south side. Anytime you afford to be, and give it. You know the south side, and man, oh, we throwing up and give it sad. You know the south side, and man, oh, all right, we doing it and give it. You know the south side, and man, oh, sad. We throwing up and give it sad. You know the south side, sad, sad. I want the girl, sad, sad. You can get broken, but no, the hood gets. You can get walking in the we don't care what. But you don't want to follow. But you don't want to follow. But you don't want to follow me. Hey, you don't want to be in the streets, mouth in the blood and soul. When you come to act hard as hell, and you know damn well you don't want to feel. Get down, I love her, and my head pressed to the wall. I got big like baseball, split your dome, keep straight, knock out all y'all. Hell no, the boy don't play straight. Put your away, I don't please do. Put my head and pray for the folks in the club that's scared. Yeah, call me dad. You can get caught in the club, roll with your hood bitch. Or you can get walked in the club, we don't care what. But you cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Ice cream, ice cream, ice job. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Ice cream, ice cream. Woo! Clean on the outside, cream on the inside. Ice cream, paint job. Got screens on the dash, I can save by the bill. Got a house by the bayside. Yeah, I'm living like that. And I'm riding like that. Boy, I'm riding like that. In the steering wheel wood like a baseball bat. Just like Cont said, we ready. Whole click straight, doing things like jelly. Red Marquis, paint job, great jelly. On triple BC, big black box Chevy. Crank my car, she be humming. Rim so big, you can see me coming. Prime time kid, we get money. Stay iced up like TV Johnny. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Ice cream, ice job. 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 Say that you got it all. Tell me where you play the ball. Every day you're at the mall. Tell me is it true or false? Say that you got it.
I get with you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Burn rubber. Focus in the traffic. What's up, Bird? Follow Cap. It got Yola in it.
I'm jamming over there. Say Puma jamming in the vibe. Mr. Palmer. You ready for
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Thanks for everybody staying with us. Hey, thanks, Puma, DJ Puma, man. Known him since I was a kid. Thank you, man, for showing up and showing out, man. I really appreciate your time. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last session.
Sure, no problem.
So if you say anybody 30 said he was talking about fighting in the basement, he could be in the basement with this sad ass basement, sad ass rally. But you know what they did?
What?
The white team that's fighting
Who's
for
that?
Black Lives Matter bought some tickets out.
So I want to thank everyone that stuck around for the second annual A Toast to the Men celebration. I really appreciate it, man. Like I said, y'all could be doing anything on this Saturday. I really appreciate it. This segment now, man, family,
They did that on purpose.
alienated fathers,
He ain't running nothing.
child support.
I think somebody needs to mute their phone.
Black women, why? She got a
Can't hear you.
Fathers, alienated, child support. I met this man on Instagram about a year ago, and we connected, hit it off right away. And man, we talk probably 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, and so yeah, man, it's a good brother. He came out with a lot of phrases, you know, he's coined, but he's the creator, the founder of Fuck Child Support. My man, Mr. Palmer, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Man, you've been sticking around. You've been here the whole time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I appreciate the knowledge from everybody. You know, it's a team effort. You know.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you too, brother. So let's start, man. Like I asked all the brothers, man, who are they, man? If I was to come up on the scene, man, and just discover you, meet you for the first time, who is Mr. Palmer?
Mr. Palmer is hey, yeah.
Hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hey, Mr. Palmer is man, self-made CEO, social media personality, and I'm also a father's advocate. When it comes to child support, there's various things you could you'll know about me. But one thing very controversial, as you see.
Right.
So, you know, it's fuck child support.
Right, man. So what ignited? What birthed this, man? What was the instance that you said, man, I gotta do something about this. I gotta say something. What triggered it?
Actually, you know, I came from a 2-parent household, bunch of uncles, aunties as well, huge family. And when I was coming up, you know, my father taught me never to go along to get along. You know, be a free thinker. You know, don't let the blind lead the blind. So as I'm coming as a kid, I seen a lot of fathers who was in their child's life, right? Even if they weren't with the woman and they was fathers. But then as time went on, I started seeing a lot of fathers who was being fathers, but they've been labeled as deadbeats. Why they labeled as deadbeats? Because they on child support. Society has taught us that if a man's on child support, oh, he must ain't want to be a father. He must want to abandon his responsibilities. Oh, he's a deadbeat. You know. So fast forward, within like maybe the 2000s, the early when getting to 2000, that's when I started noticing stuff like feminists and you know, separated, way more separated family than when I was coming up. I was born in 79, 41. When I was coming up, you know, and nobody talked about it. And when you talk about child support and equal rights for men, everybody shine off. Even men didn't want to talk about it. They want to sweep it on the rug. They don't want to say nothing. And even though they getting screwed unjust, they don't want to say nothing. And so finally, even before I had my situation, this before I even had my situation, I decided to, about 3.5 years ago, I think it was in August of 2017, I decided to come out with Fuck Child Support. Now I knew it was gonna be controversial, but if they see my post and actually do the research, you'll see exactly where I'm coming from. And the source is child support. Now, it so happens when I do Fuck Child Support, like months later, I ain't have my own situation. So I didn't do it because I had a situation. I did it to be a spokesperson for others and to call it out and put it on the front line. Because like I said, a lot of people don't want to talk about it when it comes to that. So, and now here we are 3 years later, and the Facebook platform grew over 123,000 likes and 130,000 followers. And on Instagram, I got over 7,000 followers. And it's really turned into a movement. And it's real. Yeah.
In 3 years.
In 3 years, yeah.
I mean, I know on Instagram, man, I've seen it grow right before my eyes. I think we met like 6 months ago, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, about
and
6 8 months.
It's grown a lot in 6 months.
Yeah.
So man, you definitely on the front line. And
yeah, I'm on the front line, man.
yeah, they come at you. Man, I look at the comments. Man, I was like, man, they come at this brother, man, but somebody got to sacrifice themselves.
Exactly.
for the bigger cause, man, for the pride, man. So I agree with you. A lot of brothers, and I was one of those brothers too, didn't want to talk about it because you don't want to seem like you're complaining.
Right.
Right. And a lot of times we go out of our way not to look like a deadbeat.
Right. Yeah.
But that doesn't even matter because she's going to create the narrative, man, however she wants to create it.
Right. Those are baby mama terrorists.
Right. Yeah.
Mama terrorists. Yeah.
And so you coined the phrase baby mama terrorist.
Right. Yeah. A baby mama terrorist is one who terrorized good fathers for being in their child's lives. That's what a baby mama terrorist is.
So it's not all baby mamas.
No. See, when it comes to a baby mama terrorist and a mother are two different individuals.
Right.
So when you hear me holler baby mama terrorist, I ain't talking about the actual woman because a woman ain't gonna stoop down to that level of manipulating the child, alienating the father out the picture, running the child support over failed relationships. You know what I mean? Taking the child support money and spending it on her hair, nails, and everything else, spending on the next man and everything else. So yeah, baby mama terrorist, and the baby mama terrorist come in all forms. It's not just, I'm talking about baby mama terrorists over black women. No, I'm talking about baby mama terrorists, period. Because I got different posts where I talk about white, black, blue, and green. They come in all forms, you know.
Right.
And also when it come to men, there's so many men that have fought for equal parenting time. And when they go to court, and I'm one of them, the courts always give it to the mother regardless if she's unfit, not working, unstable. I have seen it. I hear so many stories about this. And the reason why, because child support is a $51 billion industry, it's a corporation. And why would they want to, let's go back to the history. The history of child support started in 1975. And the reason why child support even exists was to help white women.
Mm-hmm.
So even now when they try to stereotype black men as being deadbeats, President Obama even said in one of his speeches that black men need to step up and don't be deadbeats, right?
Right,
but
I remember that.
Was the true original deadbeats was white men who was going overseas, that was going to war and everything, and they didn't come back. That's why child support alimony came out to help married white women, because they weren't allowed to get a job back in them days and vote and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's where it started from. And as time went on, the majority, when it came to us, we weren't being married. The marriage started declining. And you had women that would run the child support, and they saw it as a lucrative business. And because of that, it became a business, and it was not about the best interest of the child. That's why every year now is a $51 billion industry. That's why I call it industry. And they say it's for the best interest of the child. No, it's not. Because how's the best interest of a child when you give the father who's been married? Because they always talk about, well, you should have did it the right way. You should have got married first. As far as they got married first, was actually the only one working, breadwinner, home. And when they go to court due to divorce or whatever, what end up happening is that same father who was the lead and take care of the household, the ex-wife ain't working. She keeps the house. He got to go. She's still not working, but she get primary custody. Now they've been married for over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. She get primary custody, and he get every other weekend in the summertime. And they see her as the most deemed fit. I got a brother right now from New York who was married. They was living in the same house, so he didn't even leave. He stayed while he was fighting in court. He paying child support while he's staying in the house. And when it was all said and done, he ended up getting every other weekend and paying child support.
Yeah. I did some history, man. I looked up did some research, and I think it was Eisenhower who passed this bill. And
I believe that's who it was.
Yeah, and initially the thought process, the thought process was, when a divorce occurs, they wanted the living conditions of the child not to be unchanged. It was for married couples. They didn't even take in consideration of people that have children without being married.
Right.
So if we were never married, we never had a household, what do you have to go on to make sure the house is not disrupted or the child's life is not disrupted? We never lived together, right? So I don't get that part of that. Needs to be revisited, but also that I lost my train of thought. But what you were saying about the war, that was true too. A lot of white men were not coming back.
Right.
They were staying overseas.
Right.
And so they were married to these women, but they weren't coming back. They were staying overseas.
That's where it started. That's where it actually started from. Right.
And the women had no support.
Right. They weren't allowed to get a job back then.
Right. But now
that changed.
It needs to be revisited too, because a lot of women are making a lot more money.
Right. They got more rights.
So it shouldn't be the responsibility of the man solely to make that sure that child's life is not unchanged.
Right.
The women are making a lot more money. Sometimes, man, a lot of households, the women are making more than their husbands.
That's true, but here's the thing: is that they got their blueprint is designed to keep the dads in the hole. Whether if he's a deadbeat, whether if he's not a deadbeat, whether if he's black, white, blue, or green. This is not just a black issue, but black men are on child support at a higher rate. Who pay the most money? White men. White men pays the most. There's more white men on child support, of course. But it's 13% of the population of black people, and I believe it's over 40% of men who are paying child support as non-custodial parent. Wow. And the concept or what society try to say is, you know, the man didn't want to be a father. No, when it's all said and done, the majority, not all, the majority of the situation is that she didn't want him to be the father. She wanted him to alienate out of picture because of a failed relationship or a divorce. And it's a lot of men that know I'm not lying. And it's a lot of mothers that actually know it's true because their own son went through it, or their grandson went through it, or their brother went through it, or they saw their own daddy go through it.
Or they put someone through it.
Right. Well, that's baby mama tears. They're gonna, baby mama tears would, but a mother that cares or a woman that cares, they seen it. So and the thing about it is, by me calling this stuff out, they want to label me a deadbeat, running for child support, ain't got nothing, low life. That's what they call me, but I don't give a shit because I'm gonna call this shit out, and I got proof. When I show the proof and everything, they try to deflect it by saying, well, you anti-woman, or first it was anti-black, but when they saw videos of whites and everybody else, then I was anti-woman. And I'm like, well, it don't make me what you think, because I'm still gonna call this out. And as my page was growing on Facebook, I was doing, like, you know, for black men, because we going through it. But then I got a lot of, majority on my page is actually black, white, and Hispanic. And then I started tuning in. I'm like, wait a minute. I started tuning in. That's when I realized that white men paying more child support and they going through it. Then I realized child support is a worldwide thing. You got child support in India. You got child support in Australia. You got child support in Canada. You got child support in the UK. You got child support in Brazilian, a third world country. They got child support in Brazil. They got child support in Japan. They even got child support in some parts of Africa, but they call it something different, but they still got child support. Right. So it's a worldwide issue. It's a money game, you know? And like I say, they don't want the man to get equal parenting, because if he get equal parenting, get equal rights, that's less money they're gonna get into their $51 billion budget. And you notice I have seen women who wasn't even fit to be the primary parent, they still give it to her because he makes the most money. They want that money. So
they want the money.
Right. So why would they let this man who make $80,000 a year or $50,000 a year get equal parenting and only pay $200 a month when they can go ahead and give her primary custody and he pay $1,500 a month? Right. Because even if you get equal parenting time, you still have to pay child support because you make more money than she do. Right. So go ahead. I was saying, even with equal parenting time, I know men that still pay child support.
Yeah, I was doing it. I had equal parenting time, but still had to pay child support.
Right. See what I mean? So now you take care of two houses. You send your son or daughter just as much as she is, doing y'all part, supposed to be together, but yet you still gotta go take care of that household over there.
Right.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, and in my opinion, let's say both people are decent people, decent parents.
Right.
In my opinion, once the child gets to, boys, once they get to around 9 or 10, he should be with the father.
Well,
I mean,
but
that's just my opinion.
Now check this out.
The nurturing of the mother should be weaning off.
I agree. But when
he's going into manhood now.
Right, true. But when you're dealing with a baby mama tears, she ain't gonna never let you be around that kid. That's why a lot of these boys out here emasculated. That's why we out there gang banging because their daddy only there every other weekend. So what power do the dad got every other weekend where that baby mama tears got the son mentally, you know what I'm saying, changing him, manipulating, making him hate the father. Even the girl hate the father, don't want to be around him, out there hoe hopping everything else. That's why it's a lot. Matter of fact, I was looking at statistics when it came down to a father absentee fathers absentee crisis in America. When it comes to poverty, it says the child is 4 times greater risk of poverty. Teen pregnancy, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen. Behavior problems, more likely to have behavior problems. They say more likely to have behavior problems. Child abuse, more likely to face abuse and neglect. Mom-child health, 2 times greater risk of infant mortality. Substance abuse, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. Incarcerated, and that's where the majority of men who be locked up now because of lack of a father is more likely to go to prison. Child obesity, I see that for myself. 2 times most likely to suffer obesity. Crimes, more likely to commit crimes. Education, 2 times more likely to drop out of high school. And I know many individuals that dropped out of high school, and everything this thing said, majority of it, they didn't have a father in their life.
Right.
And society try to teach us that you don't need a father. And that's when you go to the when you get to the politics part of it, the Democrats is the one who gave the shiny design with the Section 8, the link card. You don't have to work. You can live next to the Kennedys. You get you a link card, you get your nice house, stay next to the Bushes and everybody else, but keep that black man out your house. And we'll give you everything you need. And you ain't got to do nothing about it. And when your son get older, he can go out there, sell dope for you and take care of the house, and he be the king of the household. But here's the other thing. When he get locked up and go to jail, that's more money in the county's pockets. So they're going to get money all the way around.
They're getting money all around.
Right. And when that son get murdered, even though that father been fighting to be a father and everything, and the judge saying, hell no, he going to stay over there, and she saying, hell no, I hate you, he get killed and go, and who they going to blame? They blame the father. You should have been around.
The first question is, where's the father?
Where's the father? He's alienated. He's alienated.
But we never want to dig deep and see why the father wasn't around.
They don't want the truth to come out.
Yeah, they want the truth to come out. But everybody asks, where's the father?
Right.
Nobody asks, where's the mother? Or what kind of mother it was. No. It's where's the father?
These judges know these people that's coming in that courtroom, but it's a business. The judge actually get a bonus that goes into their pension per child support. I hope y'all know that.
Wow,
the judge get a piece of the action. Wow. The lawyer get a piece of the action. It's all the design, that Title D4 job. That I'm telling you, it's a design to destroy men as a whole. Because I be trying to tell people, and I learned this from doing this. I don't care if you going there as Adolf Hitler. I don't care if you're going as Richard Spencer. If you're going as Louis Farrakhan, you go there as a pro-black. You go there as a Jewish person. You go there as a Republican, a Democrat, Islamic, Jew. You going as a man, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get screwed by the system. It does not matter. It's gender bias, and they do not want to change that because they ever change. Why you think every year, think about it, when you kids, you always seen them protesting about equal parenting rights at these state capitals, white people, black, whoever, they all out there. Hey, shit, I ain't trying to change that shit. They slowly do a little bit, say, okay, well, we'll give you automatic 50-50 equal parenting time, but you still gotta pay this child support. Or they'll say, well, we'll make it a automatic, we'll you know, they'll try to tickle your chin, but they're not trying to change now. That's why I'm telling people now, we have to change the laws in our mind. We change the laws in our mind, we can change child support, because child support ain't going nowhere. That $51 billion, they're not gonna cut that. But if we change the laws in our mind, we come together as one, as men, we give them knowledge, learn the laws, teach the youngs who ain't been through it not to go through this, or if they is going through, we tell them what to do, because it's too late for us. You know what I mean? But we got to teach the young, and we got to have a support system for men. A lot of men don't want to come together because a lot of men don't want to talk, but they scared to talk about it. They don't want to be labeled. You already labeled as a deadbeat. I don't care if you take care of your kid or not. Because if that baby mama Tez hates you, she gonna stain your name in anyway. It does not matter.
Right.
You know,
right.
So, Mr. Palmer, what do you think about that age group of those adolescents, those that haven't reached 18 yet, that have had a baby or in the process or got a girl pregnant? And when they minors, like it's the parents' responsibility at that point to pay child support in place, since they're not legal.
I heard about that.
So what do you think about that?
I mean, it depends on the child's age. I don't think I should have to pay my son's, he's 16, 17 years old. I don't think I should have to pay his child support. I don't, he's 16, he could get a job. So, but they do, but see, here's the thing, they doing that because the 9 out of 10, if he 15, 16 years old, the mom or the dad is working a job, he working a decent job, making 30, 40, 50,000. Let's get the money to the government. That's what it's to support the government. It ain't about the best interest of the child. Because I have seen many times where the father tell the judge, well, she misused the money. And you know what the judge tell him? She has the right to do as she pleases with that money. And ain't nothing you could do about it.
Wow.
It's a money game. They don't give a shit about the woman either, but that's who they use. That's their right hand because that's who always run the court. And they always come with that psychological logic that the woman is the most best fit because she carried them. No, it takes two.
Not necessarily, yeah. Not necessarily.
That's what they say. That's what they try to dumb it down.
Right.
That's what society try to teach us. And that's bullshit.
And it used to be, and man, I know some people don't like tradition, but man, some things about tradition are good. It used to be where a woman took pride in having a child for a man.
Right.
And if she couldn't have a child, she would give him her sister.
Well, yeah.
If she was barren.
Right.
It took pride in that. I'm gonna give this man, I want this man legacy to carry on. I want to gift him with this. Man, this is her child.
Right.
My baby.
And but see, and then once again, that's not the woman, that's a baby mama terrorist. See, a woman or a mother ain't gonna think like that. A baby mama terrorist will, because think about it. A lot of people get mad at me because I said a lot of these baby mama terrorists, the majority of them choose single motherism. And when they say, well, how you figure? You don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, let me ask you this. If a baby mama terrorist alienating the father out the picture unjustly, what would you call that?
Right. She choosing to be a single mother.
Right. Here's another one. Future got 8 kids. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He got 5 kids. Here come another female. She know he got all these kids. She know he don't really do shit as a father, but she let him knock him up anyway. What do you choose?
Future the rapper. Yeah.
Right. Future the rapper. What do you choose? If you want to get pregnant by, or you get knocked up by a guy with all them kids that don't do shit anyway.
That's a money grab.
You choose, right, but you also choose to be a single mother.
Yeah, you choose to be a single. You know he ain't gonna be with you. You know off that.
Be a single mother.
He ain't with none of them. So you know off that he's not gonna be with you. That's a straight money grab.
Right, but then they tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But they say I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And it's right there. But see, with a lot of things, they like to deflect and try to make excuses. And then when you call it out, they want to tell me as the man to zip my pants up. I said, well, how can you tell a husband that got divorced paying child support and alienated to put his pants up when he did everything he was supposed to do?
Supposedly did everything right.
Right.
He got
so
married.
how can you tell him to zip his pants up and wear condoms, and he should have picked better, But when it's the other way around, they play victim and say, woe is me, and I didn't do nothing. Right. See, that's why they hate me, because I call it all out, and I don't give a fuck what anybody say, because I'm gonna come with the facts, and I'm gonna call it as I see it. So, I ain't never gonna stop. Another thing, when I made Fuck Child Support, it was the core of the situation. It wasn't about necessarily paying the money. It's about equal parenting. It's about the gender bias, feminists, and stuff like that. So child support is the core, because if they change child support to where it should be, we won't have a lot of these problems going on today. Because think about it. If child support wasn't out here, if it wasn't even child support, you think a lot of these baby mama chairs will get pregnant by somebody? And they ain't getting it. Exactly.
They'd be a lot more picky.
It'll be a lot more picky. They'll get the right man and everything. Because you know, because if you go, like I said, if you go to court, they don't care if you take care of the kid or not. You can go to court and you be like, I take care of my kid. I got the receipts. They still gonna put you on child support. They're not gonna say, well, he haven't taken care of his kids. No, we ain't putting him on child. No, they're gonna say, well, you still gotta pay.
So
it is what it is.
So check this out.
Yeah.
The people that get the worst end of the stick is the working man.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't just all men. The thug that don't work, he get to see his kid.
He'll be, she'll beg him to come around. She'll beg
the
him.
one, the one that lives from woman to woman.
Right.
He has no problem seeing his kids.
Or the one that say fuck them kids. But the more you care about your kids,
the more you care,
the worse it's gonna be.
Yes, it's worse it's gonna be.
Right.
Hey, I've heard many women say, Yaya included. So I say, why didn't you put him on child support? I'm just asking. I'm not saying he should be on child. I'm just asking. She says, because her kid's father was a little thug. Her kid's grown now, but he was a thug.
Right.
He says, I wasn't gonna get nothing out of him anyway.
That's why.
Which I knew.
But this the thing. You got some that still run a court and try to get something, a penny, a dollar.
But see, that's a messed up mentality. That's the dude that need to be punished.
But they're not gonna do it.
Don't punish the dude that's out here trying and
they're not
working.
gonna.
You should work with that guy.
I agree.
That's actually running from his. That's the guy that needs to be punished.
But they not.
I knew for me,
women won't even put that guy on child support.
I knew for me, I didn't want to spend 7, 8, 9, 10 years going back and forth to court to try to get something.
Hold up. But if you had kids with me, would you put me on child support?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Not if you was taking care
of
your child.
No,
If you was handling your business, it wouldn't be
no, it don't work like that. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Even if he handling his business, he still be on child support. It don't matter.
But that's what
I've always been responsible. I've always handled. She knows. I've always handled my business.
Thanks for being honest, y'all. Hey, y'all. Thanks for being honest.
I know.
Y'all pushing some buttons.
I'm not pushing no. I'm telling the truth, man. It's controversial, but I'm speaking the truth.
I don't think I'm gonna put him on child support. No, I don't think so.
No, the woman today.
Baby mama terrorist.
But the 20-year-old Yaya.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been on child support.
Oh,
right.
Only reason a woman up today wouldn't do it because of your connection and knowledge and wisdom I done gave you.
Yeah, and so thank you.
And what you done seen me go through.
Right.
Okay. Let's call it what it is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But see, a lot of baby. Go ahead, Yaya.
So am I considered a baby mama terrorist because I had kids by a man I knew was not gonna take care of them?
So why you have kids by him?
No, that ain't what I call baby mama.
Why'd you have kids by him though? You ain't off the hook.
No, let me finish.
Why'd you have kids by him?
No, I'm gonna tell you, no. You're not a baby mama. No, that's not the definition of baby mama terrorist, but you choose to be a single mother.
A single motherism.
Yeah, single motherism. You chose it because if you knew what you were dealing with and you had more than one kid and all that, the first one, yeah, okay, my bad, but
no, she had twins.
I had twins.
Huh? Yeah, twins.
I had twins. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you knew what you were dealing with. You kept the child. You didn't say abortion. You didn't. You choose to be a single mother. But you're not a baby mama terrorist.
So this is my thing, though. This is my thing. We've talked about this. So you lay down with this man. You know he ain't about nothing. He never had. A job. You know he ain't about nothing, right? You get pregnant, right?
Yeah.
But then you decide he's not good enough to be in the kids' lives.
No. I didn't decide that. No.
He made that call.
No, you're right. Exactly. After I had them, I ended up moving to Louisiana. So he knew where they were. He moved back to New Jersey. So he chose. Yeah, he chose that.
He made a choice not to be around. That's his ass. Yeah, low life.
But she got to take some responsibility for procreating.
She chose to be single mother. The single mother is
even procreating, you knew better.
I agree.
You don't come from a family like that, woman.
I agree, but when I'm saying,
look, you get off of Yaya.
I'm just saying, hey.
In that situation right there, I'm just gonna say that, you know, it in that situation right there, you know, not only does as a woman, I'm just gonna say a back in the day woman, not this current generation, but you're gonna take in consideration not just only that he's a thug, but you're gonna take into consideration, do you want your child in that environment or wherever he thugging?
Right.
I mean, you got to take all of that into consideration. So at that point, no, I don't want them chasing him for no child support. You can take your little thug money, do what you do, and stay where you at, because I don't want you around my kids.
I agree, but I agree with that. But at the same time,
if you have this information and this knowledge,
but at the same time, but you know what? But you're right. But at the same time, that same woman would turn around and put the man who want to be a father, who want to stay in the picture and be a father, that's working a job, and put him on child support, and you get your 20%, and every other weekend he get. That ain't right.
And the attorney,
I know women that got kids by two different types of men.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't work and the one that works. The one that works is on child support.
He paying
gets
for both
a hard
kids.
time too.
He paying for both kids.
Yeah.
He paying for both kids.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Man, shit. I got videos. I got a variety of videos from baby mama terrorists who use the child support and don't take care of the kid, and ain't nothing he could do about it, to a baby mama terrorist murdering their kid or beating their kid, and even though the father going to court fight, showing proof, the judge still make excuses, and the worst thing he do is give the kid to the grandmother. He still can't get the child, you know, because as long as he keep paying, that's what it's about. It's a money game. You know, and it don't matter what judge, black judge, white judge, a man or woman, it does not matter. It's very seldomly you get that one judge that's about what's right, and that's really about fairness, equal parenting. That's why I came out with fuck child support, because it's a statement that everybody gonna look around and say, what the fuck? So, and it definitely gonna cause controversy, but a lot of people actually saw where I was coming from, and that's where I'm at today. So the sad part is many try to say it don't exist. And it's so many, I'm gonna speak, when it comes to black women, the fake ones, the fake conscious, when they be the main ones that talk about Black Lives Matter, but y'all the main ones that setting that man up for failure, putting him to child support because of failed relationships.
I say it all the time.
That too.
And that's why I created that post. That's why I created that post about these women, black women, supporting and representing for George Floyd, right?
Right.
But they love these black men. They love their kings. They kings, right?
They support their kings.
They kings.
They kings.
But they got black men in your own life.
Right.
That you're giving a hard time to. And you know it. But you get on social media representing for George Floyd.
Right.
Man, you don't know.
And did y'all
there's
know?
no emotional attachment.
Hey, and did
there's
y'all
no
know?
hurt in George Floyd in you.
You know this. You know this, bro. But do y'all know? Did y'all know George Floyd got 2 estranged kids?
No, I had no idea.
He got 2 estranged kids. One was 20. He got a son that's 26 and a daughter that's 24 years old. He been estranged for them over 15 years. Wow. Because of the way Mama Terrence alienated him out the picture. They ain't talking about that. They only talk about the 6-year-old.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Many men go through this alienation, whether if it's out there in the front lines or not. And that's why I want to call it out, man.
And with the 6-year-old, that's with a non-black woman.
Right.
And black women was gonna jump the ship on George Floyd when he found out that the kid's mom wasn't black.
Right. What the shit matter?
Yeah, they gonna jump the ship on him.
Right.
They said he deserved. Somebody said he deserved what it got being with a white woman.
Right. And that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's why when they talk about the Black Lives Movement, that Black Lives Movement is full of shit, because they ain't nothing but some feminists that's really about saving the alphabet community and transsexuals. That's what the Black Lives Matter is really about. They not about saving men. They use that as a propaganda to do their big agenda. And if you go on their website, they'll tell you it's about black trans and black lesbian, black gays, and this. It's not about the black man. They the right hands of white supremacy. So I don't support
the founders are two
lesbian feminists.
This is how they say it. This is how they say two queers.
And a transsexual.
And a transsexual.
So yeah.
That's who founded it.
Black Lives
Two
Matter.
lesbians and a transsexual.
Right, but they for black men.
But it ain't for black men. Y'all ain't deal with black men.
Right. So go on with that shit.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
So what I believe, tell me what you think. What I think is gonna have to happen, man. We can't focus on the women. We ain't gonna change women.
We have to change ourselves.
We have to change our minds. I think men, we have to focus on all men.
All men.
Stop impregnating these women before the age of 35. Stop getting married before 35. Stop impregnating them before 35. So what that's gonna do, that's gonna see who's really about this life, who can really survive without government assistance. From 17 to 35, we're gonna find out who really about that life.
It's quite a few things we can do.
And that's gonna separate the weak from the strong.
That's true, but it's quite a few things we do. Like I say, you got to change the laws in our mind.
Yes.
Just because y'all on good terms, y'all together, you don't have to. You can do a contract and get it notarized. Like if anything, have we break up, or if you married, you can get a post-nup. Like you do prenup before you get married, but if you married, you can do a post-nup. Like if anything happens, we separate. We do 50-50 custody, no child support. And if you go to court, they're gonna honor. They have to honor that because you didn't.
They're gonna honor that.
Yeah, it's called a post-nup. Like if you're not married, y'all can come with your own agreement, get a notarized, sign off that hey, we break up, I'll pay you, no child support with the state. We ain't got to deal with that stuff. So that's what I mean by changing laws in our minds, because it's ways around that child support shit.
Hey man, I never knew that, man. Where you been, man?
So what about for those that that, I mean, because I hear people say just go put your own self on child support.
That's dumb.
And
that's just dumb.
Okay.
A lot of guys, I know that's dumb, but I know a lot of guys who did it, and a lot of them did it because they didn't want to deal with that woman no more. They like, here's your child support, I'm gone with the wind. So if they don't really give a shit about her, the kid, then yeah, I get it. But you got men who put themselves on child support thinking there was gonna be less stress, less issues. They respect you more because you went on and did shit. No, they ain't. They're gonna say, look at you, okay, you we're gonna take this, and then you see your kids every other weekend, and in the summertime. Most fathers don't even have an issue paying child support. Most fathers real fathers have issues with equal parenting. That's what it's about. You can have the child support if I can still see my son and my daughter. But these baby mama tails don't want that, because if you get equal parenting, that's less money she get in her pocket, and that's less money that the courts get. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you say if a dad says fuck child support, more than likely he's gonna have to deal with not having a relationship with the child or children. So what advice do you give that man?
Hold on. Let me stop you right there.
You mean like fuck child
support?
No, I said more,
huh?
Like he don't want to be a father?
No, based on if he said fuck child support, didn't pay child support, he would end up with this going back and forth with an issue with the mom, probably wouldn't have a relationship with the kids.
Even if he does though. If he does pay child support.
But that's why I think that's why a lot of men do go ahead and pay, because they don't want to risk the relationship with the kids.
But I'm telling you, the relationship is still at risk, baby.
No, here's the thing. If you go on my page, it's a lot of men that's paying child support. They ain't seen their kids in 15 years, 5 years.
Right, they don't got nothing to do with it.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. You can pay your child support, still see your kid, and they go to court and fight, and the judge say
visitation and child support, two different things.
Yeah, it's two different things, but even if you marry and you go back to court, you divorce, and the judge, they don't care. They do not care about the best interest. They don't care about the father in the picture. Matter of fact, they don't even want him in the picture, because you're going to raise that son to be masculine. You're going to raise him to be a thinker, not a reactor. You're going to change him to be a good man that he's supposed to be. But they don't want that. They want him to be a thug, jailbird, locked up, back and forth, and maybe killed by the police.
Right.
So, you can pay your child support and still get screwed by the system. I pay my child support, but I only get every other weekend. And I was in my kid's life since birth. He said, the judge told me he didn't believe in equal parent at the time. So that means fuck you. That's what it means to me. Fuck you. And child support and every other weekend. So I ain't got no criminal record. I worked the job. So you can't say, well, you didn't do shit and you went around and you was coming back and forth. Nah. So that's what I say. It's men that's getting screwed just based off, I'm a man. Right. They want that money. It's a money grab. That's all.
And that's the one way a woman can have control over a man's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can run the court for whatever reason.
Yeah, because most men don't care if she gets with another man.
Nope.
He don't care about none of that, man.
Nope. Just want to be around kids.
Right. But them kids, man, that's where she has leverage. That's where she has leverage with them kids. She can control his life with that. So it's
a baby mama tears would rather for their kid to die than that kid be around his daddy just for equal parenting time. I know fathers who lost their sons because she wouldn't let him take the son because he was out in the streets and stuff like that. She rather for him to die. He ended up getting murdered.
And I'm in that situation. I put it in the book.
See what I mean? See what I mean? See what I mean?
Yeah, I've been in the exact same situation, man. And what's cold, and not to focus on this, but I'm telling you how God works, the universe works. He got murdered on Mother's Day. You think that's by accident?
No, it wasn't.
So, man, you got to be careful about the energy you put out there. But there's something you mentioned that I never knew, man. The suicide rate for alienated fathers.
Let me tell you about that. It's majority white men, but it's men as a whole. Every year is 20,000, over 20,000 men commit suicide due to alienation and child support. They don't talk about that. They're not gonna put that on news. They're not gonna put that out there because they don't want nobody to get their mind like, nah, this some bullshit, this ain't right. White men, majority of them white men that commit suicide, 20,000 a year. And what's sad, it was a white brother that was on my page last year. No,
hold up, bro. You just kind of ran through that. You said 20,000 men?
Yes, a year.
Related to father alienation?
Alienation and child support. Getting screwed by the system.
Each year?
A year.
Wow.
But they won't put it on the news. It's in the statistics, man. It's not, they won't put that on news because they put that on news. People actually be like, man, this ain't right. This. They don't want that. They don't want that, man. They want whatever they want you to know. That's why the media full of shit too. That's not good news. That's not ratings. Nobody give a shit about that man killing himself, put on child support.
Yeah, no, yeah, that column of punk or you soft or you know,
weak. Yeah, of course.
That's why men have to look out for men.
Right, I agree.
You're not gonna get any compassion, any empathy from outside.
That's why you gotta fix yourself. You gotta keep your veins cold because these baby mama tears will set you up for failure. You'll be sitting in the crib with the shades drawn. I know brothers that wouldn't even come out the house, man, for a year. You know what I mean? So that's why you gotta be around other men and get some guidance. You gotta love yourself. You gotta do for self. You gotta build yourself. You gotta be able to speak up. You gotta be able to call out the bullshit. You gotta tell your story. You have to be around people that support you. I know fathers who was cut off by the mother because he wanted to fight to be a father, and she said he was wrong. And that's because she was a baby mama tear that elevate his father out the picture. Because all them times when he thought that his father didn't want to be a father, nah, he paying child support and she kept him away. But he found out either when he go through a situation or when he finally had that conversation with his dad. But the mother manipulated and bought him out, gave him whatever, treated him like a king, but that was just to blind him from thinking about his dad.
Right.
That's the majority, not all. You got some that does get that loaf of bread and don't come back. But we talking about the majority as a whole. And it's the same thing. And it's sad, man. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm calling out these baby mama terrorists and this unjust system. And as time go on, hopefully, like I say, change the laws in our mind. And men have to take care of men. We got to come to one accord. We like fifth-class citizens because you got the feminist movement that's over us. You got the alphabet community that's over us. You even got the people that don't even belong here that's over us. We don't have no power, no jurisdiction, no nothing. We ain't shit.
So I know you said it's kind of over for us at our age.
But it's not too late. It's over as far as you know what we going through, but it's not too late for us to do better to change everything else. And we want to prevent this from going down to generation. We have to. I'm trying to see how can we speak to young men. Man, it's got to be some kind of code. We got to speak to them because the mother's right there. He don't know what he's talking about. I mean, social media is one because I got plenty of young brothers that don't have kids. And they come on my page and they talk to me. And what I want to do after this pandemic, like I'm telling you, we have some conferences. I don't care if it's only 5 people, and spread the word and try to make change. But social media is a start, man. Social media is a start, and also, you know, volunteering and talk to your nephew, talk to your nephew, your cousin, excuse me, your cousin, your friend of the family, your godson. It just starts there, man. It starts at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and even if that person don't change, but you put them on game, you can't say ain't nobody try to teach me nothing, ain't nobody try to show me nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as they know.
As long as they know.
Our parents told us things. Our parents told us things, and we knew they was right, but we didn't listen. You know what I mean? But they told you can't say you didn't tell me. We all been there, done that. We didn't listen to our mom or our dad when they told us to do certain things. Cause we like, I'm grown, or you don't know what you're talking about. But then you learn the hard way, and you know what I mean. But you can't say they didn't tell you. So it's the same thing, you know. But if you hang around garbage, you end up in the garbage can.
Right. So man, what's your plan? Where you headed, man? Where you want to take this?
I want to take this to the streets, man. Right now it's on social media, but I want to, like I say, after this pandemic, I want to be, you know me, I be running for child support anyway, traveling all over anyway. I want to definitely start doing public speaking and get it out there on us to change the laws in our mind. And this, like I say, child support is a lucrative business. And also, you could thank Bill Clinton because in 2003, is it 2003 or 2005, something like that, when he came out with the Deadbeat Act. That's why men are going to jail because of being, I think it's over 2,500 in back child support. And then people he enhanced that. And due to the stimulus, a lot of men who was working jobs, family, take care of his kid, they lost their job. The stimulus check, it didn't go to him because he owed back child support. The stimulus check went to the mother, and he didn't get nothing. And now he's struggling and can't get a job. Then people losing their CDL license, people losing their license. And like we were saying earlier, like what the brother was saying, when he had a felony, he couldn't do this and couldn't do that. That's the same thing when you go on child support and you behind. You go to jail, you more in the hole. They still tack on interest while you locked up. You can't get you a concealed carry. You can't get a passport. You can't get your license. And what if you got a job where you need your license? You got to change. And I tell you this, people that try to be a security guard, they'll let you take the class, but when you pass that class and you're supposed to get your perk card, they're not gonna give it to you. You behind in child support.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, here's another thing. Just because you're behind on child support, it doesn't mean that because you weren't paying. I'm current on child support and I'm $6,000 in the rear. Why am I $6,000 in the rear, but I'm current on child support? Because they go back when the person filed for child support. And then if you're dealing with a baby mama check, the line say, well, he didn't do nothing for 2 or 3 years or a year. And you say, yes, I did. Here's my proof. But it don't say child support. They're going to say, that's a gift. That's not child support. You got to say child support. So now they go back a year and 9 months. And then they go your rearage. Even though you count your child support, and they still count that as well. If you get your stimulus check, we're going to take that. If you get your tax, we're going to take that. If they want you to, they tack on interest as well. And then they could take your license or take your, your FOIA card and then passport and everything else. You can't reapply until it's paid off. So a lot of people think that you in a rear because, oh, you didn't want to pay, you a deadbeat, you ain't working. Nah, it might, like I say, laid off, the pandemic. They didn't give a shit about that pandemic when it came to fathers on child support because that stimulus, they gave it to the courts and gave it to the baby mama. And also, what's even worse is, you ain't never, when you owe student loans, they ain't never gave you no pass. When it came down to the stimulus, they said, well, don't worry about it, we ain't gonna take it. When it came down to owing tax debt, they said, don't even worry about it. But when it came down to having back child support, fuck you. They don't care what pandemic was out there.
Yeah.
They didn't care about what pandemic was out there. It could be the AIDS epidemic, the opioid epidemic. It could be this damn coronavirus. They didn't care. They want that $51 billion yearly profit. They not gonna stop that for shit. They not gonna stop that.
That's real. That's real.
That's some gangsterish ass shit. They ain't nothing but the fucking mafia, underground mafia that say they don't exist. That's why I say it's a corporation, a business. And it's the shit illegal anyway, So that's what I'm trying to say. But people don't want to talk about that because that child support make the world go round. They want to keep that going.
Oh yeah.
They don't want to talk about that. That's why they hate me. That's why they hate me. Yeah. So
yeah, man. That's why, man. The only way we got to change our minds, like you say.
Change the laws in our minds. We have to change the laws in our mind, man.
And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna separate who's real and who's not, man. If if a woman is forced to really step up her game and be productive and be disciplined from when she gets out of her parents' home up until 35, hey man, it's gonna reveal who's who.
Here's another thing. You want to know what type of woman you're dealing with? Have a conversation with her about child support and see how she reacts.
Right.
And you'll know if you're dealing with a woman with some sense or a baby mama terrorist. Because, like I say, a real mother ain't gonna put a man on child support to take care of his kid. I understand y'all broke up and y'all got divorced, but if he still take care of the kid doing his part, you don't like him, that's fine. But he take care of the kid, you co-parenting, or he doing his part, what you put him on child support for? But like I say, the majority put him on child support for fair relationship, to teach him a lesson and set him up for failure.
Yeah, I want to punish him.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of people going through.
Because she's hurt.
Yeah, but that ain't got nothing to do with the kid. The people need to learn how to separate co-parenting or being a parent versus your personal relationship.
Yeah, that's
that's why I say also be thinkers, not react. That's what men got to do. We got to be thinkers and not reactors, because our reaction will set us up for failure. Because anybody's paying child support, I'm not gonna tell you just because I say fuck child support don't mean don't pay your child support. Don't be a fool. You lose your license, you lose job, you can't, it's on your credit report. Nah, you do your part, because you don't want to get fucked by the system. But fuck child support is just saying to bring that awareness of what us as men going through, and we need to go ahead and call that shit out.
Right.
So that's what it's about. So don't think fuck child support mean, oh, don't pay your child support. But at the same time, if I ain't allowed to see my kid and I'm alienated, I shouldn't have to pay you a dime.
Right.
You're telling me
I believe in that.
Right. I'm good enough to pay child support, but I ain't good enough to be a father.
Right.
Something wrong there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's basically, it's not saying don't pay your child support, it's saying fuck the establishment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these baby mama terrorists too.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about them.
Hey, Rod, I got my boy Roderick Smith. He was on earlier, man. You got something you want to add, Rod?
No, man, he pretty spot on, man, because quite honestly, I went through the same thing twice. My oldest son is 32. My youngest son is 23. So you're right, man, especially with my youngest son. And the thing that, I just kind of came in on the tail end, but the thing that that I dislike the most is that it affects the kids.
That's who affects the most.
My youngest son, we just had a conversation maybe about 5 months ago, and he had questions. And these are questions that he can't go to his mom about because she's going, she knows she was wrong.
Right.
So she don't want to put herself in that negative light. So she refuses to have that conversation with him. But
right.
He still
has deflected.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, now you've been spot on, bro. You've been spot on.
Bro, man, that's the thing. You'll be surprised. Like even if you go to church and a lot of guys, I guarantee half them guys on child support or alienated. I guarantee it. Black, white, blue, or green. I'm telling you, that's why we had to start calling out, because that brother feel like he alone. He think he don't want to go going through it. There's many people that reach out and say, man, I did not know, men and women, I did not know that this was going on like this. I thought it was just me going through it. Because I even got a few women who dealing with a baby daddy terrorist who did the same thing, a fair relationship, got custody and alienating her. But the reason why I make it for men, because who gets screwed the most? 85% of men are paying child support and non-custodial parent versus the 15% of women that's paying child support. And we definitely, men have to come as a whole, collectively.
And there should be resources, man, that you can go to, because the reason why I just grinned and bared, because I didn't know where to go, who to turn to as far as that was concerned.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, like I tell people, man, when you get to the point where you're trying to fight, you're doing everything, but you put yourself in the hole, you lose your sanity, you taking it out on somebody that's down for you and everything, you got to wash your hands and move on, man. You got to keep your veins cold, and then you got to do what you got to do to better yourself and do good, and like I say, do for self, because what if that kid come back around, you want them to see you with your head held high, you still living your life, doing what you got to do. That you don't want them seeing you all fucked up, your head down, and you living on the street drunk and fucked up or committed suicide. Yeah, that's why we have to come together as a whole to build each other up and so on. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit is real, man. It's real.
It does affect you, man, because I was 19 when I first put on child support. And like I said, it wasn't because I wasn't there for my kid. But it was that, like you say, that malice, that anger that she was holding over. So she was going to get me back. In fact, my second son's mother, she told me at one point, she said, I'm going to make it to where you don't get nothing but a check stuff.
See what I mean? Bro, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell. This shit is real, man. If y'all, well, SD been on my lives, man, and I have white cats. Everybody ain't just and people. At first, like I say, when I started, I'm like, it's
around the world. Yeah.
It's a worldwide thing, bro. The shit. They got child support in India, bro. India, Brazil, you know, the European countries, of course, and it's a money game. They don't give a shit about the father worldwide. Yeah. We fourth-class citizens, and we got to change that, man. We ain't shit.
And it does affect me mentally, because for the longest time, like first time when I first found out when I was on child support when I was 19, my mindset shifted, because I was always the creative type, you know, that type of thing, but my mindset shifted to I'm never going to have anything. And it took me a long time to break that mindset.
Right, exactly, man. And it's really deep. And the unfortunate part about it is, like you said, it hurt the kids. And even if the kid try to, like, I want to be around my father, the baby mama Taz will make them feel bad, make them feel guilty, treat them like shit, treat the other kid good, because she don't give a fuck about the daddy, but he do, so she get the bigger person. I know for a fact.
Yeah, that does happen.
And they'll rather let a married dude stay over there, come back and hoe hop and everything else versus the dad.
Right. Yeah. And I got this to say, man, for men, stop getting with these women who have kids that are alienating the fathers. That you know, stop simping. Stop her side and being blinded because you all in love and you know she's putting this man through hell.
I've seen that too.
You end up laying with her and impregnate her, go through the same thing, and you're gonna have to come back and apologize to that man.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those of us for those people who don't know what simping means, can you define it?
Catering to women's emotions, following the woman, going which way, wherever she wants to go to appease her. That's what you do. It's not based on principle. It's not based on morals. It's going with her emotions to make her happy, wherever she wants. That's simple.
Yep, and men gotta stop going along to get along, man.
Right.
We gotta stop going along to get along. And that's a lot of times we do. We let the blind lead the blind. We know that this person ain't right, but we stick around anyway because we trying to do it for the kids. That shit don't work. It make it worse because the kids see all this stuff. They just ain't saying nothing.
That's true.
And that's it. I did. I tried.
I told my son's mother that.
Did it.
I said, keep doing what you're doing because he's getting older now. So he's gonna start seeing what you're doing.
Right.
And it came to pass as far as that was concerned.
Well, that's good because there's a lot of kids that's so manipulated. Even when they see the truth, they still, even when they grown, man, they fuck the dad and he ain't never did shit.
That's true. Right. It's true.
Well, I told you
that I maintained a great relationship with both of my sons.
Well, that's good, bro.
That's good.
To prevent that, you know what I'm saying?
It's hard, man.
I saw it unfolded. Yeah.
Would you get them every other weekend or?
I was a weekend dad, and sometimes I wouldn't get them.
See what I mean?
This is what, especially my youngest son's mother. This is what she would do. She would conjure up something to make him feel like he can't go. You can't go with your daddy this weekend because you did this or you did that.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Yes.
Yeah. And that was a period of time with him that I at least about 2 years that I didn't even, she disappeared with him basically. And I didn't know where she was. I didn't know where he was.
Right.
I just had to keep putting pressure on her mother until she told me where they were.
Wow. And that's sad, but that's sad that the baby mama Terry's mama will sit back and condone the shit. I ain't telling, because they raised them. That's in their bloodline, man.
But you got to go back to how was her relationship with her father?
We don't think about mother. That. We don't think about that till after the fact.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
You don't think about
that. So you always want to look at that too. Now you can get some good women just didn't grow up with fathers, but you better check their mind, man. See if they're on the right path. That's
what I mean.
Try to get a woman with a father, man.
But that's why I said what I said. We got to talk to these young kids so they don't go through the situation like we did because I didn't think about that. Do she got a mother and a father? Who raised her? What's her mom like? You gotta really be like that now.
And what's the father's personality? Who runs that household?
Right, is he a simp? Right, because he could be a beta simp too.
Yes.
Do the mother run the household? Yeah, right. You don't want that.
You need to spend some time with him, man.
Right.
And see what's going on.
Yeah. It's very important. That's what we got to teach the young now. That's what I'm saying. We got to teach them to be thinkers and not just be. First of all, men should be chasing a woman anyway.
Right.
You shouldn't be chasers. You know, we pursue, but we don't chase. Because when you chase a woman, you end up being blinded from everything you seeing that you don't see, because your goal is to chase and get that woman.
You're blinded.
You blind. You're not thinking of every the repercussion of what you're seeing out there, because you just like, I gotta get.
Right.
Yeah. That's why that's called keeping your emotions intact. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And brothers have to learn that, man, that he needs to make himself so attractive to where she wants to make herself available to his view.
Right.
And she crosses his eye, then he pursues her.
The old way.
Yes.
The traditional way. Yeah.
But she wants to be in his presence.
Right.
Because he got it going on, not just physically, but he got it going on.
Right. Right.
Right. So she makes herself known.
Right.
Right. In a lady way.
Right.
Then he pursues her if she's to his liking. But no chasing. And brothers got to understand that.
Right. But see, you got a lot of girls is not thinking like that, because a lot of these baby mama tears got whores logic, and they gonna teach them to be just like them, miserable whores, and get knocked up and run with the system and get the benefits. That's the thing we got to do is we got to destroy that mindset. Yeah. And the only way we could do that is we teach our men, our young men, to not fall in that trap and want better for themselves. You know what I mean? And it's deep, but it's possible. It's possible.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got Jorge on. Let me see. Jorge, you got anything you want to add, brother? Thanks for joining us. Oh, okay.
Hey, Michael said something, bro, in the message.
Let me look over. Let me look over, man. I understand.
He says that he understands what you guys are saying, but just as women can miss a blessing by having a checklist, men can also miss a blessing by judging
it goes both ways. I agree.
How she grew up.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Because a woman should check the guy's background and see, do he got a father? Do he got a mother? What do he do?
I said,
I agree. It goes both ways.
Yeah. And I said, I prefaced that. I gave a disclaimer saying that she could. Yeah, you could get a good woman that didn't grow up with a father.
Right.
You better see where her head's at, and if she's done some reflecting and know what she's missed out on and what she needs to work on, or I mean, it's possible.
It goes both ways. I'm for go both ways, because if you got a daughter, you want to teach her to pick right too. You don't want her to get.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, also, I was busy at the office, that's why I couldn't say anything. I just kept typing.
Okay.
So, on my experience, whenever I went to court at the beginning of the divorce, they gave me an order to pay child support.
See what I mean?
So I started making the payments, and at the end of the case, when they closed up the case, and they told me the actual amount of money I was supposed to give every month, they took all the money that I pay ahead as a gift. I asked them, how the hell is that possible? Because you told me that was going toward child support already. They said that it wasn't. It was just a gift until the final date of the judgment, basically.
Wow.
And after that, they came up with a bill of like $12,000, saying that since I haven't had contact with the kids for about a year because I was deployed with the military, I own them money back. And they put it on my credit record. So suddenly, now I have this $12,000 bill on my credit that dropped my credit about 200 points, basically. It stopped me from being able to buy a house after she took my house. And it just screwed me over, basically, bad. They took my tax return from last year. I've been running a small business with property management, and they took the whole return, about $7,000. I don't mind because it's going towards that bill, but crap, everybody needs that money. Right. And then the money we're getting from the government, every single check that was coming to me, I just got a letter from the Department of, it wasn't the IRS, it was the Department of something, of the Treasurer. Department of the Treasurer.
It was the Treasury.
Yes. Yes, saying that they have taken my money, or my government money, towards my child support balance.
Yeah.
But now, what if I don't have a job?
They don't care.
Because of COVID. I don't have a job. I don't have how to support myself. I just lost my job because of COVID. How am I supposed to survive?
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That's
Now
stupid.
check this out. Now check this out. I don't know y'all from Adams, but just me talking about what I'm talking about, y'all can relate or y'all been there, done it. You'll be surprised when you have this type of discussion, what will come out. And of course, I don't know you. We're not gonna talk about that because you don't want to talk about it. But when so many people can relate to this shit is deep. It's real. I don't know y'all, but like you say, you heard me. You like, I can relate. I can relate. Yeah. Many of us don't know who you standing by to actually going through it or been through it.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it,
and that's why we need to talk about it.
Me and Rod been building for over a year. We met up at least 4 times. We ain't never discussed child support.
Nah, yeah, it's one of those.
That's what I'm saying.
Secret type thing. I just started getting a tax return 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's just something we don't talk about, man.
Well, we need to. We must talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's therapeutic as well.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic. You know.
And you don't know what information this guy may have too, that can help you in the courts. So yeah. A closed mouth don't get fed, right?
Exactly.
We all go through different situations on the court system. So we all have different experiences that we might be able to help each other because whatever worked for me might work for you.
Right.
You know?
Right. I agree.
And what about, are there any resources out there, Mr. Palmer, that are available for those that that need a lawyer or need an attorney that can't afford it?
You get a pro bono lawyer. You could Google it, and them the ones that go off your income. But I'm be honest, when it comes to these lawyers, majority of these lawyers, they don't give a fuck either because they all work with the system, and they get paid. They get paid whether you get the child or not, or whether you win or lose. They all get paid.
And no vested interest.
We have to learn the laws and we go it as a pro se.
I kind of know a little bit about that. So I'm planning to go to law school. I already passed my tests. I just need to start, I guess, next year. Yeah. But the thing is this, lawyers are obligated, actually, to put a certain amount of hours every year towards the community. They have to serve people for free.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that they have to win the cases. They just have to show in the books that they represented someone. So they can grab somebody that, like, a dad that is trying to, get their child support fixed or get access to their kids as a case. But that doesn't mean that they're actually going to work towards winning for the father. It's just a case for them. Just hours to record.
It's no different from getting a public defender. You think he's going to go all out for you?
No.
You take a plea deal. That's the same thing these
child support lawyers do. Getting a flat fee. It's getting a flat fee paid. Exactly. They don't care.
They don't care. Years ago, this before Yaya, I was going through it with my ex about seeing my children. She had moved back to her hometown after we split to Paris, Texas. She wouldn't let me get them, whatever. So this person told me about this organization, Fathers for Equal Rights. So I'm telling them what's going on, and they tell me, well, go down to Paris, do your visitations so she can, and if she says, or she refuses to hand over the children, call the police and tell them this code or some code or something, and they'll have to give the kids to you. They need to enforce some code. So I did that. She refused to let the kids out. I called the police. I tell them what this organization tells me. They like, man, we can't get involved. That's a family matter.
Civil matter.
That's a civil matter.
Civil matter.
They can't get involved.
That's an escape. That's an escape.
You know what? I had to tuck my tail, drive all the way back to Dallas with no kids.
But if it was the other way around, they'll tell you.
They'll jump you. They'll jump you and rip the kid off.
They'll tell you either drop the kid off or they're gonna charge you with kidnapping.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a cold game.
And again, it still affects the child, even if the law did come out. 100%. For the child to see the law out there, I mean, what type of impression does that leave with your kid? You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
Yes. Either way.
When it's all said and done, the kid get hurt the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. The kids. I mean, they most of the time this baby mom terrorists don't care about the kids at all. It's just a revenge for them.
They don't.
They just want us to get the money out. They know they're gonna screw us over with that. They don't care about the kids. If no, they'll give us the ability to actually access the kids to enjoy their lives, you know, going to school with them, taking them to activities. No, like me, I haven't done shit at all. I'm a freaking combat veteran, and apparently they used that against me. So now I have to have, how do you call that? Like somebody has to be on my visitations. I was like, I'm not going to have somebody on my freaking visitations.
Supervision?
Yes, supervised visitation. I was like, why? What makes me not able to have my kids on my own? Because I've been deployed? So all the combat veterans we have everywhere shouldn't be with their kids right now. That's not an excuse.
Are they trying to say you have PTSD or what?
I do have PTSD. I know that. I've been diagnosed and everything. But still, we have tons of people. I have tons of friends in the military that have the same or even worse symptoms, and they're still living with their families, with their kids and everything. That doesn't mean we don't love our families. We just have freaking issues with memories from combat. That's all.
Yeah, but the baby mama Tez used that to have a leverage.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know many baby mama Tez that'll personally get a restraining order on you and lie and say you hit them, so then they can move out the state and put you on child support, and ain't nothing you can do about it. You know, it's sad. I'm telling y'all, it's deep. It's deep. That's why it's fuck child support. That's why I say what I say. The reason y'all motivate me, because every time I tell you, because somebody come up and say the same thing, I've been there, done it, I'm going through it, and he served his country. That's why I say they don't care. They don't care if you serve the country. They don't care if you're a gangbanger. They don't care if you work for Wall Street. They don't care if you're. I know police officers and lawyers that pay child support.
Yeah, I got some. I got some police officers that follow me on Instagram that you connected me with. And they catching hell.
Right, they don't care.
For false allegations and child support, they catch. And these are police officers. They don't care.
All the time. Also, well, like one time I went to court for the custody case in North Carolina, and she started a domestic violence case. No freaking proof, nothing. So the judge decided to push my custody case to the side to deal with that case. And then she told the court that I tried to contact her and I broke the no-contact order. So when I came back to Texas, I got a letter on my in the entrance of the house saying that the sheriff's office wanted to contact me because they have documents for me, important documents. So I contacted my attorney in North Carolina. I contacted my attorney here in Texas. I asked them what the hell was going on. They didn't know. They said there was nothing on the system, so I didn't contact them. Next time I went to North Carolina, I show up for court for the case, for the fake case, and I get arrested because apparently I tried to contact her. There's no proofs whatsoever. So they processed me and everything, and then they let me go, saying that I just have to come back and finish with the case so we can continue with the cost of the case. And that was bullshit, basically. Yeah. It cost me like, I wasted like 3-4 months of, exactly, yes, on that case. And then at the end, they're like, oops, sorry, yes, you couldn't prove anything. So now I have that arrest on my record. So wherever the hell I go, even if I apply for a freaking McDonald's, they're gonna ask me, why did you get arrested in North Carolina?
See what I mean, y'all? That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe and I agree with Mr. Palmer on this, fellas. Before you hurt yourself, hurt that woman, hurt the kids, or snap,
wash your hands,
or become an alcoholic or violent, wash your hands, man,
and move on.
Wash your hands before you destroy yourself. Wash your hands of it.
Don't give them the chance to do anything.
However she wants to label you, you're gonna be that anyway.
You that anyway. It don't matter to pay your child support.
You must live on though. You must live on. Yeah.
And any interactions that you have with them, record it. Get a recording app on your phone and record that. You go to see your kids. You call her. You do anything. You text her. Save everything. Record everything. Especially if you are able to record video. Record it.
Text it.
Record it. Yeah.
Go on the parent app if you got to. But one thing about it, you cannot co-parent with a baby mama terrorist.
Nope.
Impossible.
Nope. Even if you want to.
I'm serious. It's war. It's war.
Yep. It's war. It is. And in the middle, you have the kids. They're not even at fault.
Yep, but let you be a piece of shit that don't want to be bothered. She'll beg him to come around and he, fuck you and the kids. He don't give a shit. She won't even put him on child support.
All right. Hey, y'all, Chiquita, we probably close up soon anyway. Chiquita got to log off. She's with Elite Speakers. I appreciate you.
We can cut it short, yeah.
She did the flyer. She did the flyer for me.
Oh, you did good. I need you.
Thank you.
Hey, I love that.
Marketing skills.
Thank you.
So toast. Where my glass at? I don't got nothing in it. Toast, Chiquita.
I got the book.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, man.
I got my water.
I think this is a good time to wrap up, I think, y'all.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for joining, man. Elite Speakers. Chiquita. Sorry Tracy couldn't make it. Mr. Palmer. Thank you, Jorge, for joining in, man. You've been here for a while.
Yeah.
Almost since the Rod, Rico, Gigi, Warren. Man, Michael been here. My boy, man, Michael Watkins. Hey, man, we disagree. We bum heads. You would think, if you look at our messages, you would think we don't like each other.
Right.
Yeah. But I love that brother, man. And real smart brother. You're going to see some things with us, too, coming in the future. So I want to thank y'all. Toast to all the men. Toast to the panel.
Hey, before y'all go, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Fuck Child Support. Men and women support the page. Check it out. Need y'all support.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Hey,
all right, guys. Thank you for everything.
Take
care, guys.
All right, now. Peace be with you.